stuff down.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Well, hello there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is here. NFL Christmas has arrived. It is draft day number 1. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio, a very special edition of the show, and we'll tell you why here in just mere moments from right now. I am the ever so humble yet dashingly handsome Rob Brown, sitting to my left today. No metaphorical glass in between us, because the man in the box has been let out to run wild, brother. The great one, Lonzo, sits next to me here at Twin Peaks on Woodruff Road in Greenville. Zoe, how does it feel to be in public?
I can say one thing. I'm sure you scared everybody in this building half to death. It's empty right now because it's not open till 11 o'clock where we are. But Rob Brown, as lousy as in an empty room, is a mistake.
I can hear the echo of me over the headphones, ladies and gentlemen. But the good news is that while the building is empty now, why? Because the incredible cast and crew here at Twin Peaks is getting it all set up for you. Why? Because the doors open at 11 a.m. At 11, you, who I assume there must already be dozens and dozens of the Armada sitting outside waiting ever so anxiously for that 11 o'clock bell to hit, so that they can jump on in and come hang out with us here at Twin Peaks. The doors open at 11, and when they do, it is full tilt all the way up until the Carolina Panthers officially go on the clock this evening, live from Kansas City, draft day number 1, and we have got you covered all day long. Lonzo and I will be live all the way up until noon o'clock p.m. Then we're going to hang out afterwards. There's a big old long table right there that we're going to move on over to. Get us some of those burgers, some of those hot wings, some of that 29-degree. By the way, right now, it's 26.8-degree beer, according to the sign over the bar. Grab us a couple of those cold brewskis. The Rise Guys P1 Lager is on draft here at Twin Peaks today. And then, while that's happening, Jim Rome will have you from noon to 3. Then, at 3 o'clock, Diesel and Mark Ryan will take over. Offsides with Mark Ryan, and Diesel goes live right here at this same table at 3 p.m. today. They're going to take you all the way up until 7 o'clock. Then, at 7 o'clock, Diesel and Mark are going to be hanging out here, getting ready for the first round of the draft. And on the air, we will have CBS Sports Radio's national coverage of the National Football League draft. They will take you from pick 1 all the way to 31. Yes, there's only 31 this year, ladies and gentlemen, because the Miami Dolphins have forfeited their first-round pick. Why? Because they tampered with Tom Brady. We'll talk about that later on in the radio broadcast. But that is a weird way to phrase it, isn't it?
No, it tampered with Tom Brady.
Tampered with Tom.
I wish someone would have tampered with him like 20 years ago, and maybe he would have went away.
A little tampering never hurt nobody, right?
Well, except for Miami.
We will have live coverage on CBS Sports Radio overnight all the way through the end of night number 1, round number 1 of the National Football League draft. It is going to be a tremendous evening as NFL Christmas has arrived, ladies and gentlemen, and we have got all the football to talk about. But as we mentioned mere moments ago, we are live at Twin Peaks on Woodruff Road here in Greenville. We will be taking the show all the way till noon. Doors open at 11. Lonzo and I are sitting here looking up and down the Twin Peaks menu. I think we've already got our strategy in play.
No, we don't.
No?
No, because they got chicken. And they got tacos.
Yeah.
And that factors into whether I get a burger or not, because I'm looking at this chicken avocado smash, which has arugula in it.
Arugula.
And what's arugula taste like?
Arugula.
Because I know I've had it, but I don't remember what it tastes like.
Green.
It's green.
Tastes like a vegetable.
That means it's probably pretty good. They also have like Nashville hot chicken. I'm a chicken guy. They got Philly cheesesteak.
You a hot chicken guy?
I'm a hot chicken guy. Yes, I am. I am. My stomach is not, but I am personally. They've got what's a smoked pork cubano?
A Cuban, but with pork.
Okay, what's a Cuban? I don't know what a Cuban
Cuban sandwich comes on pressed flat bread. It's usually going to have you some lettuce. It's going to have some pork on there. Going to have a tomato, but it's also going to come with a spicy yellow mustard.
Oh,
I love it.
Rob, they got a spicy meatball parmesan.
I don't hate that at all.
It's all beef house-made meatballs, hoagie roll, marinara, mozzarella, parmesan, and parsley. I don't know why we need the parsley, but I guess
it's garnish.
You gotta have some green in there.
It's garnish.
They got cheesesteak, Philly and Texas style, and street tacos. So I've had this conversation with someone, and who's told me you can't have street tacos inside, and I disagree because I've had street tacos.
Who the hell said you can't have street tacos inside?
I'm not gonna throw them under the bus.
Cam.
Again.
You just said yes.
I said I'm not gonna throw him under the bus. It was a guy. I would go that far.
Cam. I mean, technically they are not street because you're not on a street.
But I thought street was a style. Kind of like how I
It is, but they're like 99% of the time they're called street tacos, and they are that style, but they come from street. That being said, I have not had the street tacos here at Twin Peaks. That is a sentence I likely will not be able to say around, 12:07 this afternoon. Because, I'll be throwing an order in around 11:40. In fact, while Lonzo's doing Fight Club coming up at 11:20, I'll probably just go ahead and pop my order in. Because I don't need to hear about another round of VKM lawsuits.
See, when I got my French fries glare, when we had some of the fine folks from Twin Peaks on with us last week,
Yep.
She didn't tell me that they have loaded fries. They've got loaded fries with bacon and cheese, with brisket chili. I don't get the brisket thing. It's beef, man. Why you gotta call it brisket? It's still beef. I'm not criticizing the station. I mean the restaurant. I'm criticizing the South.
Okay, Yankee.
Yeah, I'm criticizing because it's beef.
You don't appreciate the artistry that goes in together and putting together a good brisket. I don't know what to tell you. It's like looking at a Van Gogh painting and being like, "Oh, it's flowers. What's the big deal?" No, there's beauty in.
Well, if you can tell, it's flowers because it's kind of distorted and everything. Exactly,
ladies and gentlemen.
I'm a Vincent fan, so I'm not Starry Night forever.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I mean,
just a complete lack of culture on behalf of Lonzo.
All right, apologies to the people on stream. We got a little distortion. We're going to work on that if we can. I have an idea, but it'll have to wait till we're on break. So
yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. They don't let us out of the box very often, ladies and gentlemen, and so we get a little rusty here and there.
Wait. Kevin on stream wants to know what suck eyes, as he says, fans call it. We call it beef, and maybe that's why Rob doesn't like calling it beef. He prefers brisket because beef brings back bad memories.
So if I walk out to the front of this restaurant and I point at your rig and I go, car, you're like, yes, we all know it's a car, but what is it?
We already know car. We already know how Rob feels about beef.
I hate beef. I mean, I love beef, like brisket, burgers. I love beef. Just not that. Anyway, point is, ladies and gentlemen, brisket on fries, undefeated, untouchable. Undefeatable. It's the best. It's the best. We are live at Twin Peaks. It's on Woodruff Road in Greenville. We'll be taking you all the way up until noon. At noon, we hand it over to Rome, and at noon, myself, the Great One, the Rise guys are all going to be sitting at that big table right over there, knocking back some P1 lager, eating some loaded fries topped with brisket, maybe that Parmigiano sandwich, maybe a Cubano. We'll see. It's going to get weird. Come on by, hang out with us. And for the dozens and dozens of you that asked, I am looking over at the swag table to my right. Roy, how do we look on the T-shirt front? Like 3? We got a ton? We got a ton, ladies and gentlemen. Not a literal ton, but a ton. We got a ton of T-shirts.
If Aaron says it's a ton, it's a ton.
It's a ton. We have got, quote, a ton, end quote, of not only fan upstate shirts, but we have got...
Hey, those are Panthers over there.
Sure are.
Sorry.
We have got some... We have got a few Carolina Panthers shirts. And by the way, these shirts come to us straight from the organization. These are shirts you can only get from the organization. We have got a few of them to give away.
I see some hats over there.
The hats aren't bad. We got some Rise Guys P1 Lager hats to give away. We've got a couple of Panther hats to give away. We got a few Panther shirts to give away. Again, those Panther shirts and hats you can only get through the organization, which means you can only get them from us today at Twin Peaks.
You know what you're doing now? You're teasing. Because they can't come and get them right now.
At 11.
You can get them at 11.
They'll be here at 11.
You can line up at the door and in an orderly fashion
It's
into
like,
the establishment and get you some stuff.
It's like Coachella. If you want to see Florence and the Machine, you better get there early. All right? First in the door, first to the front.
It's Seven Devils, right? I like
What?
that. Seven Devils. I believe it's the Florence and
I'm
the
going to be real with you. I don't know any Florence and the Machine at all.
You had no idea.
No.
I'm sorry.
I don't know Florence and the Machine at all. Point is, we got the stuff. You should come get this stuff at Twin Peaks. Doors open at 11, and then we are going to be hanging out the rest of the day. We have got a ton to talk about on the radio broadcast today. Obviously, as NFL Christmas has arrived, ladies and gentlemen, the Carolina Panthers are unofficially on the clock until 8 p.m. when Roger Goodell welcomes us all to the National Football League draft. I'm going to start
Can I ask you a quick question about Goodell? Because I know he's one of your favorite guys.
Yeah, big fan.
You probably haven't seen the NFL Network commercials, but they have different fan bases like watching on TV.
Right.
And they have the commissioner coming out and they're booing at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm proving that I was right about something.
Okay, no, I believed you.
No, I mean, it wasn't for, hey, I'm right. But
It was a little bit.
No, well, anyway. So,
Roger Goodell deserves to get, if your question was, does Roger Goodell deserve to be booed? The answer is endlessly and eternally.
Here's my question. Is this a marketing ploy to try to quell the booing by saying it's popular to boo? Because if it's popular to boo, then people are going to stop booing. It's a wrestling tactic. And will it work? Are they going to boo him in Kansas City? Do you just automatically follow the mass mind and boo a man because everyone else is booing that man?
I boo Roger Goodell.
Best commissioner in all sports, by the way.
Leave my table.
It's not your table.
Leave my
This table belongs to Twin Peaks.
Leave the Twin Peaks table. I can't believe you just said that.
And
Adam Silver's right there.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Roger Goodell.
I think Adam Silver's an alien. He just does. I think he's here visiting. Roger Goodell doesn't deserve the hate that he gets from everybody else, and especially from you, because I don't know what he's done to hurt you.
I'm a Saints fan, dude. Everything.
All right.
Everything.
You're gonna break stuff.
Good. I blame it on Roger Goodell. Expense him.
All right. Okay. So go ahead and talk about that missed call that was Roger Goodell's fault. And then they instituted challenge for pass interference, and it didn't stick.
Just to be clear, we are talking about the Roger Goodell who made it his life's mission to get a team in LA, and then it just so happened, coincidentally, if nothing else, to be that the team from LA got the most egregious missed call in the history of the National Football League to send them to a Super Bowl in their first year in LA. That Roger Goodell. That's what I thought.
James on the stream, by the way, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. James on the stream says, why would the fans in Kansas City boo Goodell after the gifts he gave them? Yeah, I mean, he wrote the script. He wrote the script that said Kansas City is going to win the whole thing.
Together.
Yeah, because we know the NFL is scripted, so, I mean,
it's all coming together.
Yeah, that's why I'm a Goodell fan, because of all the gifts he's given Kansas City.
Kevin wants to know if you know anything about the air supply show at the Spartanburg Auditorium this
I
weekend.
hate you, Kevin.
Do you want to go see Air Supply?
No, I don't want to go see Air Supply.
Roy, can you get us tickets to Air Supply?
Stop it. I don't want to see Air
Yes,
Supply.
he says he can get us tickets to see Air Supply.
If you give me tickets to Air Supply, I'll catch them on fire.
Dramatic, but I like it. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Here I am, the one that you love. Oh, gosh. Now it's in my head. I hate
Banger.
I hate
After banger. After banger.
You know what? This is gonna shock you. I prefer you sing country all day than to ever hear an Air Supply
She
song.
thinks my tractor's sexy. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's run to our first break of the day. Again, we're live at Twin Peaks. Don't come here. I mean, do come here yet, but you got to hang in the parking lot. Bring a cooler and a patio chair. Sit out front. Relax a little bit. At 11 o'clock, the doors open. We got Fan Upstate swag giveaway. We got Panther swag giveaway. And Lonzo's got hand hugs to give out. So come on by Twin Peaks. Doors open at 11. We would love to see you when we come back. A Philadelphia talk show radio host has pulled a Mel Kiper. He has put his job on the line based on what the Eagles do with their first round picks. So I am going to ask you, what is the thing your team would do that you would bet your job over? We will talk about that when we come back. We are also obviously going to get registered. Your final decision. Who is the guy? Listen, you know the Panthers are listening. We got all this stuff over here that you can only get from the team because, well, they like us. They love us. They want some more of us. They try so hard. What are you shaking your head for?
It's not Air Supply, so I'm good. I was getting into the groove of the wonderful stylings of Rob Brown.
Come on by. Tell us who it is you think should pick. Oh, Lonzo, I'm such an idiot. I didn't even tell you about the best thing. You see this, Lonzo? Do you know what this is?
That's a signed Carolina Panther helmet.
You know who signed this Carolina football helmet? That of J.C. Horn, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. I knew it was a J.
Hey, Roy, are we giving this away? I'll be dadgum. Look at that. We are giving away a signed
Wait, he nodded?
J.C. Horn helmet today.
Does a case come with it?
This isn't the case. This is our entrance.
Oh, okay. Well, it looks like a case. My bad.
We got a helmet signed by J.C. Horn, former South Carolina Gamecock turned Carolina Panther. We're going to give it away this afternoon. You want to get registered? Be here at 11. Put your name in the box. We're back after this on the Rob Brown Show. Rob Lonzo and you on the Fan Upstate. Bow, bow, bow. All right, those of you on the stream, is the sound better now? I played around with the settings within StreamYard a little bit.
I don't know that StreamYard was where you need. Might have been your computer input.
Hendrix said they were overmodulated, so I just dropped the whole line out, right?
Well, okay.
Edit layout. How can I edit layout? Wait, can I move? Can I move the box?
Do you not have the commercials in utility? Well, you shouldn't, I guess. We'll know when we hear the music.
No, not better. Okay.
Okay. I was because it's coming in through your computer.
Right.
With the input of your computer, like turning that down.
Possibly.
Do we need an engineer? No, I can text the engineer who's on standby and tell him.
So Chris, come here. Tell him whatever he's doing is less important than what we're doing here.
Well, I can tell him that I know we're live on stream, so this is not a lie. I can tell him that the boss is having a problem with how our stream sounds, and we need him to come in and help us.
Help us!
I'm doing it. He didn't want to stay at work anyway.
I mean, he could come hang out at Twin Peaks.
Yes. Okay, so we're good over the air. It's just the...
It's the stream. Of course we do, Tim. Come on.
Come on, Tim. I mean, you know. Someone's calling me from Union, South Carolina. I don't know anyone from Union, so I'm not answering the phone. I'm going to disregard what Luke just said.
You gotta think about what you're trying to do to me. Your voices sound like the beginning of Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys.
Cool.
I actually love that. Volume mixer? No. Not that. Wonder if the worst city in America, Jacksonville Jaguars, go after offensive line. They should. Forget everything else that happens. All that should matter is protect TL, man. All right, let me see if I can just bring down levels. Microphone.
Well, I'm asking Chris to come anyway. Doesn't mean he will. No, it doesn't mean he's going to be allowed to. But the reason that it's important because, for the full package of what we're able to give here on the Rob Brown Show.
The total package.
Yes.
All right, I just dropped the mic down a little bit. How about now, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all sound like if you hold two cell phones together on speakerphone too close together. We're working on it. I'm doing my best, man.
Yeah, we are. It's my fault. I don't take instruction well, and no, it's not my fault, dude. I've done this a bunch of different places. We're just struggling a little bit, and we need help.
Outstanding.
You can keep the music and utility, and then we'll know when we're coming back. But we also will need to hear the liner, obviously. Bro. You should come and hang out with us, Tim. I'm sure all the people coming to hang out with us would love to hang out with you, too.
It's a stream.
It's a stream.
We're good.
Yeah,
we're good on the air.
We're fine.
RESPEC.
No, you should have said panic, need engineer.
Panic.
And put 3 exclamation marks. Thank you, Luke. We're doing our best. I gave my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. I think that's Peebo Bryson. I'm not sure.
You no longer sound like the severe thunderstorm warning guy that interrupts the program. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Fan Upstate. Howdy, y'all. Happy Thursday. More importantly than that, happy NFL Draft Day.
It's a holiday.
It should be a national holiday, and so should tomorrow, so that we can all celebrate today. Celebrate, that is.
Good times.
Come on. Unless, of course, just unless you are, really, really, really into your team. Let me give you an example. I was going through some stuff earlier, and I came upon the story of a Philadelphia broadcaster named Howard Eskin. I'm going to go Eskin. E-S-K-I-N. Eskin? I'm going to go Eskin.
Eskin in the morning.
That's a pretty good morning name. Howard Eskin is a broadcaster in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He works for the flagship station of the Eagles. Well, the Eagles have secured a top 10 pick in this year's draft. It happens to belong to the Saints, but that is not what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. The Eagles have a top 10 pick. In fact, they sit right at number 10. And Howard Eskin thinks that the Eagles might screw something up. He said on another radio show in Philly where he was being interviewed about the Philadelphia Eagles draft plans that, quote, if they draft Bijan Robinson at number 10, I will retire. And it will be longer than the 1 minute and 23 seconds that Ray Didinger retired, and I love Ray. You don't run to win games. There's more value in other picks. If you don't have good players on the offensive or defensive line, you're going to win squat, nada, nothing, end quote.
Wow. He
said if they pick a running back at 10, he's going to retire. Now, we've heard that before. Mel Kiper Jr. said at one point that if, what quarterback was it?
Clausen? Was it Clausen?
Jimmy Clausen?
I think it was too. Let's go with Clausen.
He said if Jimmy Clausen doesn't end up being that dude, that he would hang it up and call it quits. That, of course, was 13 years ago. Jimmy Clausen, shockingly, not in the NFL anymore. It hasn't been for a minute because he wasn't good. He just wasn't good. So Mel Kiper Jr. did not hang it up. Howard Eskin says, hey, look, if they go running back, I'm out. I'm done. I'm retiring. I'm calling it a career. Es no más broadcasting for me. I don't honestly think he's wrong, but that is a hell of a stance to take.
He's not going to do it. I mean, how many times we've heard, I brought this up before, I'm going to do it again. I'm moving to Canada if this person is elected. I'm doing this if this happens. I'm going to retire if they draft a run. I mean, what good does it? I mean, it shows your passion for the team, which you were talking about before. It does show your passion, but at the same time, it's kind of dumb because do you think that Philly's going to go, oh, no, wait, man, that's my guy. That's my guy on the radio. I can't, no, man, I can't do that. Because if we draft him, we were going to draft him, but he's going to retire. Who am I going to listen to in the morning? Never mind.
I have made it 15 years, 16 years in this industry. Let's see, this fall will be 16 years. I made it 16 years in this industry. And there's a few lessons that I've taken out of it. One of them, perhaps the biggest one of them all, is don't bet your job on anything. Because here's the thing. Much like any other bet, you can be a Welch, right? You can be like, no, I'm not doing it. I know I bet that thing and I know I lost, but I'm not doing that. I'll refuse to do it.
You're probably not supposed to say this. You could be a non-man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can take the coward's way out.
You cannot man up. You can go, yeah, I wasn't serious. You can't hold me to that.
Yeah.
No one likes a Welcher.
Here's the problem. If you do that, it's your legacy now, right? Now, let's just
and you can never bet again because people will bring that up every single
100%,
time. Yeah.
100%. Now, let's call the spade a spade here. The Eagles are not going Bijan Robinson at number 10. All right? As good as Robinson is.
According to the Rob Brown mock draft, which is done, right?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It is. They're not going running back, right? Because we have learned at this point, you don't draft running backs in the first round. You don't do it. The shelf life is short. The productivity works for a couple of years, right? Now, very rare is the exception.
I was going to say, you get a guy like Saquon, though. I mean, some guys like that are such a rare talent.
Right.
I'm okay with it in the first round.
Is Bijan Robinson in that class?
Who?
Right. Bijan Robinson's a very good running back out of Texas. Very, very good. In fact, I'd be willing to start taking a look at Robinson probably mid to low second round, which is honestly even higher. Running backs are much more easy to acquire nowadays than they were a handful of years ago. But unless you give me a Reggie Bush out of USC, unless you give me a Saquon out of Penn State, unless they are just a generational talent. A guy that even non-football fans look at and go, that's a dude right there. That's a guy. We know that guy can go. Unless they just stand out as, this guy might be one in a lifetime, you don't pull the trigger. You can get that guy later. And if you can't, there's going to be a handful of running backs available. And if not, there's going to be one somewhere out there available in free agency basically every year. Miles Sanders is a Carolina Panther. Where was Miles Sanders at the end of last year? In the damn Super Bowl, right? But Miles Sanders asked for a decent amount of money, and Philly went, no, we good. So Carolina got him at what equates to a steal. He's going to be big for the Carolina Panthers this year. How are running backs treated in the NFL? Christian McCaffrey is now a San Francisco 49er. It wasn't because Carolina didn't love Christian McCaffrey. He is now a San Francisco 49er for one reason and one reason alone, and that reason is there are other running backs available without having to give Christian McCaffrey $1 billion trillion in guaranteed money because of how special he is. Can Miles Sanders do all the things that McCaffrey can do? No, of course he can't, but he can do a lot of them. And then, oh, by the way, you got Chuba Hubbard behind him as well. So running backs ain't the play. What would your team do that would make you test your fandom? Yesterday, I was cruising the Reddit boards because I was bored. And I saw a thread go up that said, what if the changed draft odds were based? What if they were real? And what if the Panthers announced tonight they're taking Will Levis with the number 1 overall pick? And the most popular answer on the board by like a lot, Lonzo, was, I will be entering the fan transfer portal.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't. As far as Levis goes, he's taller, and I still am going with C.J. Stroud, but as long as it's not Anthony Richardson. Because, as everyone said, I don't know why you wouldn't draft him. He's a project. It's going to take a while to get, but I don't know why you wouldn't draft him. You know why you don't draft him? Because he's a project. You draft him later on in the draft, not in the first 4 or 5 picks. So, if Will Levis gets drafted, I will laugh my butt off.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, Will Levis is coming off the board in the top 5 picks.
I mean, if he gets drafted by the Panthers,
okay.
I should, because, first of all, neither one of us win the bet, so I'll laugh, because it doesn't mean we still won't go out to lunch tomorrow anyway. But, so that would mean that Reddit user that came out there and caused the odds to change. It had to be more than just one guy saying that.
By the way, they asked Levis about it yesterday, and his answer was, and I quote, don't believe everything you read on the internet. That was his response. Hey, did you tell people Carolina told you you're number 1? And he laughed, and he went, just another lesson, don't believe everything you read on. My favorite part about it, he didn't say no.
Yeah, did he do the, was he flexing the biceps? Don't believe everything you hear, brother.
I didn't tell anybody that, brother. No, he straight up said, not no. He just said, don't believe everything you read on the internet, which is a real popular thing to say when you can't say no. But that's another discussion for another segment. Will Levis is going in the top 5. Bijan Robinson is not. So what's the question? What is the decision that your team, regardless of what your team is, what's the decision your team could make tonight that makes you question your fanhood? All right, let's take a break. Why? Because when we come back, it's Thursday. You know what that means. Rashad Beard joins us to talk a little football. By the way,
we'll see. We'll see if it works.
Theoretically.
Yes.
I told you earlier, and I'm showing it on the stream right now, we have this J.C. Horn signed Carolina Panther football helmet that we're going to give away. But that's not all, Lonzo, because you may not have seen this. Sitting right next to it is a Carolina Panther mini helmet signed by last year's first-round draft pick, Ike Ekwonu.
Ooh, an Ike helmet.
An Ike helmet.
Man,
I'm sorry. Are you ungrateful and that's not enough? Because over here I have another helmet signed by linebacker Shaq Thompson.
Oh.
That's given away. I'm a linebacker guy, right?
Oh.
We're defensive guys. Ladies and gentlemen, all 3 of these helmets, the J.C. Horn full-size helmet, the Ike mini helmet, and the Shaq mini helmet, all being given away today. The 2 mini helmets getting given away at the end of our show, the big helmet at the end of the day today. Doors open in about an hour and a half. Come on by, get yourself registered for those, pick up some Fan Upstate swag. When we come back, if it works, Rashad Beard joins us here on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Do you think I should have Rashad on the phone?
I think you should do that as a backup.
Yeah.
By the way, Kevin, dude, almost went too far there, dude. Yeah, I don't see them trading Josh. But you never know.
Josh Allen.
No.
Josh Allen.
That was Thunder. No, Josh. Or there was a car crash on Woodruff Road. Or never mind. There's a.
That's a garbage truck.
That's a garbage truck. Yeah. He could have just. No, I don't know. Well, anyway, it is raining. It could be storming. So we got to ask Rashad if he's willing to run down here and put his name in the hat to try to win that big helmet over there. Hudson, we don't dress alike often, but when we do, we look pretty good.
Pulling.
I mean, come on. Come on.
Off.
We will be the best looking show on the station today. Just saying.
Today?
Well, I mean,
today?
You're right. But I mean, we're all going to be wearing matching shirts. The show that comes on later will be doing that too. But we look better. Keegan is asking about the glasses. This is my Clark Kent. It works sometimes. It does. I've been places, thrown the glasses on, thrown the hair up, and people didn't know it was me. For the fan, and I usually keep my hair down on Saturday night, so people recognize me for Word with the hair down, which should be the exact opposite.
All right, let's see if we can get Rashad up in here. Tim, can you tell him what pot the...
Well, we wouldn't be able to hear him until he's actually on the air.
Gotcha.
Because he can put him in queue, but...
we wouldn't be able to hear
him.
Why can't I... Rashad, can you hear us? Okay. So we're on remote, obviously. We won't be able to hear you.
I mean, he could talk. Say something.
What's up, guys?
Told you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we won't be able to...
Mute yourself and try it on the stream, and if not, we're just gonna keep them up on video, and you'll have to get them on phone. Yeah, I got it. Now try it.
Check 1 2.
Testing 1.
Hello. Okay. Did you send him the phone number?
No. Hey, Rashad, I'm gonna get you to call in and stay on the video, but chat with us on the phone. Do you mind doing that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna send you the phone number.
Yeah, we've done that before.
I thought we have.
Rashad's a pro, man. What you doing? Rashad, we're giving away a full-size JC horn sign Panther helmet. I know you got some helmets back there. I don't know if you want to run up here and... Well, it'll be run down here. It'll be run down here. I got to tell you, I'd rather have the mini signed by Icky.
I want you to know before...
I'd rather have the mini signed by Icky. I'm a lineman guy.
I was going to put it on, but
don't do that.
It's a model. It's a display helmet.
You do it anyway.
So it's got the cap in it.
Yeah, dude, you probably shouldn't do that. You're going to devalue the thing.
I already am.
The fan upstate.
Yeah, this is Rashad.
Okay, hey, all right. Get you on hold and we'll work it out. Okay.
Yep.
Wow, you're decisive, Tim. I love to watch you work, man.
So
you need to stop that.
Here's what we'll do. When we intro him, should we leave him on StreamYard just to see if it works, and then if it doesn't, bail to the phone?
No, he can't. He's not going to bring up StreamYard because it already echoes.
Okay.
So he's just going to bring up the phone. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's still going to be. We're still going to get the video, but yeah. You got that right, Tim. Just bring him up on the phone. Okay. And that is some behind-the-scenes stuff right here that you only get exclusively on the stream on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and Twitter. I know you're better people for it. You're welcome.
See, T2.
It's in there, so he's just playing. I mean,
No.
It works for you, though.
T2 didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah,
but he doesn't know what he just did right.
He should go in order and not just pick the last page.
See, what he didn't know he just did was play a little Louisiana Zydeco music when I'm about to bring on a gentleman I consider both a good friend and a mortal enemy at the same time. My guy, host of the Panther Nation podcast, Rashad Beard, joins us here on the show. Happy NFL Christmas, big fella. How you feeling? I don't know. It felt all right to me. I didn't hate it. Rashad Beard hosts the Panther Nation podcast. You can find them on Twitter at Panther Nation PC, but more importantly, go to YouTube and make sure that you are subscribed and following the Panther Nation podcast. If you need more Panther coverage in your life, Dave and Rashad got you covered. All right, dude, you got to lock it in. You got to make it official. Before we get there, this evening, the Carolina Panthers, with the number 1 overall selection in the 2023 National Football League Draft, select
Boo. Boo.
It is Bryce Young from the University of Alabama, and honestly, that was my thought as well. I thought that a couple of days ago. I mean, honestly, when the Vegas odds spiked the way that they did, and there was like no retort back from anywhere, it felt like that was the right pick. The concern is the size, right? I've said a number of times that Bryce Young was 6'2" and 220. There would never have been a question about this. What is it about Frank Reich, Scott Fitterer, David Tepper? What do you think the process is that they're not scared of having to be concerned with the size and durability of BY?
Yeah, when you look at Bryce Young, sorry, I was getting an echo, but when you look.
Rashad Beard of the Panther Nation podcast here on the Rob Brown Show as we celebrate NFL Christmas. And I think the other thing it does when you take Bryce Young with the number 1 overall selection, Rashad, is the Panthers have to dedicate themselves to continuing to invest in the offensive line. And they've done a real good job with that. Icky really started to find himself later on in the season. Bradley Bozeman is back to anchor the middle of this thing this year. Do you think the Panthers will be well served to use a couple of those mid and late round picks to try to find maybe another diamond in the rough offensive line to make sure they not only have a solid front five, but depth if anything goes wrong. Because one injury to a left tackle or guard, and now all of a sudden with the backup Bryce Young is susceptible again, do you think that kind of forces Carolina to maybe invest a few draft picks in the OL?
The answers are on the roster, but I do think we need sort of a swing guy, a guy that can play tackle, can play guard, can play center. Cade Mays can do that. Now, Cade Mays, we saw play fullback a lot last year. I think he's solid, can slide into guard if need be. The good news is that Brady Christensen, we heard yesterday, is ahead of schedule from returning from his injury, so that's a positive. I still think Corbett is rehabbing, so we'll see where he is come training camp. A guy to keep an eye on, a guy we talked about a lot in the past is Deontay Brown, the guy from Alabama, the big monster. We still have yet to see him hit the field, so I do think we have a couple of guys that are on the roster, but I do agree with you. Maybe one pick that's a swing tackle that can play all across the line. But the good news is that the front five, the starting five, are solidified, and I feel comfortable in that. And you listen to Scott Fitter talk about that. He said, hey, we invested in the defense, we invested in the offensive line, and now we're ready to lock this guy in, and he's going to be successful from day one. And now he's also got the coaching staff. I mean, everything is pointing for this to be successful. I'm excited, man. I really think we are in a good space. We built this the proper way, and now we're going to pop Bryce Young in. It's going to be good to go from day one, man.
Rashad Beard joining us here on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Look, I think all of us except Lonzo are convinced it's BY at number 1 overall. So we've kind of hit a couple of different conversations about pick 39. The good news for Carolina is being the only team in the NFL draft that doesn't really have to plan contingency plans for their first pick, right? If you're Houston, you got to have different plans based on what Carolina does. If you're Arizona, based on what Carolina and Houston do. Carolina basically gets to pick their number 1, which means they get to put a little extra focus on pick 39. I've kind of boiled it down to, in my estimation, you go wide receiver or you go cornerback, and whoever you've got highest on the board at one of those two positions is the right move. Do you agree with that, or is there another spot you'd like to see addressed at 39?
Yeah, I think edge needs to be addressed as well. We don't have a consistent edge opposite of Brian Burns. There's some guys that, have the potential. You talk about Amari Barno, who is a speedy guy, who ran like a 4.3 as an edge rusher, which is insane. But I think he's a little bit unproven. So I think edge rusher needs to be on that list. But I think the other two are spot on, too. If you have a top corner, like a guy, Cam Smith, who's from South Carolina, I think he is a great option at 39 if he's there. Wide receivers, Josh Downs, if he's there. Zay Flowers, if he falls, I'm running to the podium. There's a lot of guys I would agree with taking at 39 from a wide receiver standpoint and a cornerback standpoint and an edge rusher standpoint. There's a lot. And I also think that could mean that, and I think Scott Fitter mentioned this yesterday when he was talking to Panthers media, is that he could potentially trade back. If you see a bunch of those guys there, if you see 3 of the 4 names, and I can trade back 4 or 5 spots and ensure myself to land one of those guys and still pick up an additional 3rd round or 4th round pick, I can see them doing that. It wouldn't be the first time that the Panthers trade back, but if the guy's there that you really, really like, you also got to take him. The only caveat to that is that we don't pick until the back end of the 3rd round. So then we're a long wait, 39 to like pick 90-something. Or we were sitting there kind of twirling our thumbs unless we trade back up, which may or may not happen, but it's gonna be a long drought from pick 39 to the end of the 3rd round.
It's really interesting because I saw that presser or that interview from Fitterer as well, and it's interesting you had that read on it because I kind of thought the opposite when he said, "Hey, look, we're looking to deal." I'm like, "Oh, they might be trading up a little bit, right?" You're sitting at 39. There's really 2 elite cornerbacks in this draft, and then there's 4 or 5 that are probably first-round grades but bottom end. But that's a position that's had a lot of value on it in the draft the last couple of years. There's probably 3 or 4 elite wide receivers, but then there's a group, Jalen Hyatt, Josh Downs are in that group, that are probably first-round grades that, depending on what run happens, the way I read it, the comments from Fitter, or I should say reacted to, was it sounded to me like Fitter was looking and going, hey, look, we got eyes on some guys. If they start coming 1, 2, 3, 4 off the board on a little bit of a run, we move up. We make a play. We got the capital to do it. I could also absolutely see if, there's no wide receivers off the board sitting there at 31, 32, and you know that they're going to get pushed back a little bit. Maybe it is worth the trade back. I guess the point, Rashad, is I could really see Fitter pulling a trigger to go both ways depending on what the best situation works out to be.
No, I 1,000% agree with that. Both ways, that's completely an option. The good news, and one thing that is constantly overlooked when you talk about trading back up into the first potentially, is that you get that the fifth-year option, and that's huge, right? You get to get guy for an extra year. So that's something to keep an eye on, especially if it's a wide receiver. You get the wide receivers, you get Bryce Young, you pair them up together, and hopefully it's a match made in heaven. But we will see. I don't know, man. I've seen us move up. I've seen us move back a lot. So I would put my bet on us not staying at 39 odds away. If we're going to move up and move back, I can definitely see that happening. And be patient. I mean, like I said, it's going to be a long drought. Even if we trade up or trade back, it's going to be a long drought from the second round to the end of the third round. So we'll see. I'm excited, though. As long as we walk away in the middle rounds with the cornerback or a wide receiver or edge rusher, I'm happy.
I've said to you a couple times, and I'm going to say it again, Rashad. The biggest compliment that I can give Frank Reich, David Tepper, Scott Fitterer, is that as a guy who, let's call a spade, gets paid to be a Panthers fan or pretend to be one on the radio, right? Let's pull back the kayfabe a little bit. I'm excited. The biggest compliment I can give you is that as a Saints fan, I'm like, oh, damn. Like, this team's in a real good spot right now. And I really think the division next year is New Orleans versus Carolina. It really is. I'm not worried about Tampa. And until Atlanta stops being Atlanta, then I'm not going to believe in Atlanta. I think the division is New Orleans v. Carolina. And I think the next 3 days of our lives are going to go a real long way to determining who is the NFC South favorite when Week 1 rolls around in a couple of months.
Yeah. I think that the NFC South as a whole is going to be much more competitive than last year. I got to give Atlanta a little bit of credit. I hate to do that, but I got to give them a little bit of credit. They're putting together a decent little offseason. The secondary is solid. And they met Jesse Bates. They got Okuda now. Depending on what they do with that quarterback, because the way these quarterbacks, if they fall, right, and they happen to land a C.J. Stroud, or I'm not necessarily concerned about Will Levis, it's really C.J. Stroud or AR-15. If they get one of those guys, it could be a nightmare for the entire division if they decide to start him. So I don't know. If they stick with Ritter, I'm much less concerned. I think Ritter's talented, but much less talented than the guy C.J. Stroud. But I agree with your notion that, the Saints, Panthers, I think that's going to be a battle. I think you guys are aging a little bit. Cam Jordan, your star edge rusher, I think he's getting a little up there. Defense a little up there. You got Carr. Those guys. I'm not really concerned about Carr like that. But we get this young Bryce Young in here, and it's going to be nightmare for the division for the next 5-10 years potentially. And I love it. The coaching staff, everything is in place. We got good weapons. We got a defense that is going to consistently improve. I'm ready for it. 3-4 coming in. It's gonna be problems for the NFC South, man. For real. It starts today.
Rashad Beard is the host of the Panther Nation podcast. You can find them on Twitter at Panther Nation PC, but more importantly, go to YouTube, search and subscribe to the Panther Nation podcast. Make sure you click the bell so you know when they go live all 63 times a week that they do. What you guys got? Y'all going live tonight after the first round?
Yeah. We're going live tonight and tomorrow. It's a big draft party. We're going to celebrate. Obviously, we're going to go with Bryce Young first overall, in my opinion, and it's going to be a big celebration. I cannot wait. We're going to watch the rest of the draft. We're going to react to the Saints pick. We're going to react to the Falcons pick. We're going to react to all the NFC South moves, and kind of give our opinion on and grade each pick as it goes along. So it's going to be fun tonight and tomorrow.
He says Bryce, Lonzo.
Yeah, I heard that. I'm sitting here. I still don't believe it. I'm not going to believe it. I'm going to positively believe believe that C.J. Stroud is the guy.
Rashad, a week from today, we'll break down the class. Thank you, big dog.
Let's get it.
You know it. That is Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast. Again, make sure you follow them on Twitter at Panther Nation PC and on YouTube. Search and subscribe to the Panther Nation podcast. We are back after this for the second hour of the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate.
No, it's not. It has to do with me talking. And
Yeah, no. I'm
myself
just setting the
again.
stream back up.
We need to hear the music.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our numero dos of the Rob Brown Show is in your ear holes. This is the Fan Upstate. How you doing, sports fans? It is NFL Christmas. Draft day number 1 has arrived. It feels like we have been talking about the draft for 100 years, ladies and gentlemen, and it got even more exciting when the Panthers snagged the number 1 overall pick. So they are unofficially on the clock as we speak. And we're going to be talking a lot of draft through the last 2 hours of the radio broadcast. But before we do any of that, let's, of course, welcome in our co-host, just the co-host today. I mean, executive producer all the time.
I was going to say, you can't say I haven't been doing work since I've been sitting
Keith
here.
Alonso has been on the grind today, ladies and gentlemen, making sure that we look and sound as good as we do. And that's very good. The great one has been let out of the box, ladies and gentlemen. Lonzo sits next to me live and in living color, live at Twin Peaks, Woodruff Road in Greenville. That's where we are broadcasting from. That's where we'll be broadcasting for the next, let's call it, hour and 52 minutes. And then Lonzo and I are going to move to that table right over there. It's a big table. How many seats do you think of that table, Lonzo? 20? I'm going to say 20 seats at that table.
I'm going to go 16.
Oh, you counted. That's
Yeah,
fair.
yes, I
That's
did.
fair. 16 seats at that table, which means that the first 14 people to walk into Twin Peaks are going to get to pull up a chair with me and the great one. You're going to grab something off of this incredible menu here at Twin Peaks, served by the ever so lovely Twin Peaks gals. You're going to get, if you would like to participate with your boy Rob Brown, some of that 29-degree beer on draft, including the Rise Guys P1 Lager, which they do have on draft. I'll be enjoying. I'm sure some of you will as well. We collectively, see, the problem was Zoe and I had the strategy. We were going Billionaire Bacon Burger. We were going Hangover Burger. We were going side of fries with both and in order of wings, but then they brought Lonzo a menu. And now Lonzo is rethinking everything.
Dude, I just noticed a smoked chicken quesadilla. I love quesadilla, but I love smoked chicken. They also have spicy meatball skillet.
A spicy meatball.
A skillet. All beef house made meatballs and marinara, mozzarella, toasted garlic bread. I mean, in a skillet. They've got. We talked about wings last week. Of course, they've got wings. They have the boneless, bone-in naked, or breaded. What's that mean, bone-in naked?
You don't bread them before you fry them. You
Oh,
fry
okay.
them skin
Okay.
on.
There you
Yeah.
go. I like it that way. Sauces, let's see. They got smoky sweet barbecue, bourbon teriyaki, garlic parmesan, hot honey, spicy Thai chili. They got some really good ones. I'm not going to name them all because there are multiples. But they have tacos. They have sandwiches. They have burgers. They have a ton. I mean, if you look at the Bites menu, which is something that if you come here tonight, which you should, to watch the NFL draft, you're going to want to, you and your guys buy a bunch of different of these little Bites things, and then you guys can share. And there's a ton of that. I'm looking forward to, here's the problem we're going to have. They open up at 11 o'clock. So in about an hour, we're going to start smelling the food. That's going to be difficult for us to concentrate. It really is. But I can't wait for that because I can't wait for the food. And can't wait for you guys to come down because not only are you going to get the awesome food here, but you got a chance to win some stuff.
Yeah, some stuff.
Well,
first off, you got a chance to just get some stuff, right? Because on the table immediately to our right, there are a handful of Fan Upstate shirts that you can come pick up. And when I asked my guy Roy, our production manager, the guy who's running the show here at Twin Peaks, I said, Roy, do we have a few Fan Upstate shirts, some swag to give away today?
Everybody loves swag.
Everybody loves swag. He said, we have a ton of them. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have been wanting to get your mitts on a Fan Upstate shirt, today's your opportunity. But that's not all, because also on that table, in much more limited quantities, we have some Carolina Panther t-shirts that we are going to give away. Those t-shirts come directly from the Carolina Panthers organization. You can only get these particular t-shirts from the Carolina Panthers organization, which means you can only get these particular t-shirts today right here at Twin Peaks. So if you would like to be one of a very small, you know how exclusive these shirts are? When we showed up, I was like, Roy, let me get one of them Panther shirts, dog. And he said, no, we don't have enough of them. We've got to save them for the listeners. So you will not only be one of a very small number of folks who have this franchise exclusive Panther t-shirt. I don't even have one, all right? And I have everything because I am a louse. I'm a leech. And if free stuff shows up, I want it.
No, he's a 1%er, and they expect to be given stuff.
No.
That's what it is.
No, I'm not a 1%er, and therefore I need the stuff, all right? But I don't even have one. You can if you come by Twin Peaks. I'm going to tell you right now, those Carolina Panther t-shirts, I don't expect them to last very long at all. So if you want one, you need to be here in 54 minutes when the doors open. We do have the Fan Upstate shirts. We have got Rise Guys P1 Lager baseball caps that you can pick up one of those as well. We are going to be giving this stuff away until we ain't got no more stuff to give away.
You know, when we're done, it doesn't end.
No, it does not.
Because the Rise Guys are going to be here
Yep.
from 12 to 3, and Mark and Diesel are going to be here from 3 to 7.
That is correct.
Taking you right into the NFL draft, which you can watch on the 100 screens. Now, we were told there were 100 screens. I haven't counted them, but looking around, it looks like there's 100 screens. Everywhere you look, there is a TV screen.
Let me put it this way. Lonzo and I are sitting over in the back corner, right? We're in a spot that there's not ordinarily a table.
Well,
right?
when you walk in, you're going to see us, for sure.
I am sitting in a spot that I can see, and I'm talking about screens that I could watch actively. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can see 16 screens just where I am, right? And we're not even in a spot where there's a table on. So if we sat at that table right over there, the table right out to our immediate left, that's an 8-top right over there, ladies and gentlemen. There's an 8-top right there. Thank you, big dog. There's an 8-top right there. And that table has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 television screens wrapped just around it. That table right there, you could come here on an NFL Sunday and watch 5 different games without even having to turn your head. It's incredible. It's incredible. Twin Peaks is a phenomenal place to watch the draft. Why? You might ask. Well, not only is the draft happening tonight, the NBA playoffs are happening tonight. The Stanley Cup playoffs are happening tonight. Major League Baseball is happening tonight. And if you, like me, just want to watch all of the things, you can't do better than Twin Peaks, because not only are you going to get to listen to Offsides with Mark and Diesel live and in person, but you can pick any table in Twin Peaks and see no less than 10 television screens at any single one of them and be able to watch all the things, ladies and gentlemen. So, come on by Twin Peaks. They're going to open the doors here in about 51 minutes. We have got Fan Upstate swag we're going to give away. We have got Carolina Panthers swag we're going to give away. We've got Rise Guys P1 Lager swag that we're going to give away. You can get the Rise Guys P1 Lager served at that perfect temperature of 29 degrees, just enough below freezing to make sure that it is the perfect ice cold beer, but not cold enough that it turns into a slushy. You know the struggle, beer drinkers. And on top of all of that, if you come by at 11, you are going to get your opportunity to win one of 3 different helmets that we're giving away. I have right in front of me to my left, and I'm putting it up on the stream right this second. We have a Carolina Panther mini helmet that has been signed by Ike Ekwonu. He is last year's #1 overall draft pick, one of the best young offensive linemen in the game. That is sitting right in front of me. On the other side of the table, right in front of me, we have another mini helmet signed by Shaq Thompson, the outstanding young linebacker for the Cats. That helmet's going to get given away. And sitting in between the two of them, we have the full-sized J.C. Horn signed helmet. Former South Carolina Gamecock turned Carolina Panther, and of course, the son of the legendary New Orleans Saints wide receiver, Joe Horn. We got this helmet. The two mini helmets are going to be given away around lunchtime. The J.C. Horn helmet is going to be given away at the end of Offsides around 7 p.m. this evening. If you would like to take home one of the mini helmets, you got to show up within the hour after the show goes off the air and get yourself registered. If you would like to win the J.C. Horn signed helmet, you just need to show up before 7 p.m., come drop your name in the big old bucket, and you, ladies and gentlemen, have an opportunity to take home one of 3 Carolina Panthers signed football helmets this afternoon, courtesy of the Panthers and the Fan Upstate. And of course, on top of all of that, there's a phenomenal drink menu here if you'd like to share one. $18 premium buckets, $14 domestic buckets, $5 margaritas, and you can add for another couple of bucks an extra shot of that Humidor Silver tequila, of which I am a big fan. You can also get the premium tequila for $12.75, which includes Herradura Ultra, which if you're a tequila guy, real good stuff. And throughout the day today, $3.99 shots of Fireball, Jack Daniel's Apple, Jack Daniel's Fire, Jack Daniel's Honey, Jesse James Honey, and Devil's Devil Cinnamon, Jose Silver, Jägermeister Cold Brew, regular Jägermeister, or, if you're a fan, Screwball, all right? Ask them for a PB&J shot. It'll change your life. Tell them Rob Brown said thank you. Actually, no, you say thank you to me. I'm making your life better, all right? So come on by. We'd love to have you here at Twin Peaks, Woodruff Road, in Greenville. Zoe and I are on the air till noon. Then we're going to walk to that 16 top right over there. We're going to sit down, get some burgers, get some wings, get some fries, and talk draft with y'all, ladies and gentlemen. And we would love to have you here at Twin Peaks in Greenville, again, on Woodruff Road. Come on by and spend some time with us. Little rumor broke about the National Football League last night, courtesy of one Dan Patrick. Dano told his Danettes that Lamar Jackson may have found a team willing to make the trade for him.
Really?
That
So
team,
someone out there is willing to take a shot at Lamar?
it looks like it if Dan Patrick is to be believed. Dan Patrick told the Danettes yesterday that the San Francisco 49ers have been exploring a trade for Lamar Jackson. The Niners.
Wait. They have Sam Darnold. What do they need? What do they have Brock Purdy. What do they need Lamar
They have
Jackson
who?
for?
They have who?
Brock Purdy.
No, that's not good enough.
I can't,
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Mr. Irrelevant turned very relevant himself. Remember, the 49ers are also shopping Trey Lance, reportedly.
That's true. That is true.
They are shopping Trey Lance because they believe that Brock Purdy did enough last year to earn a starting spot. But ladies and gentlemen, the National Football League is a vicious, vicious place. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is winning football games. If I asked you right now, Lonzo, to bet a paycheck, as meager as it might be, on the San Francisco 49ers to win Week 1 next year, you putting that paycheck on Brock Purdy or Lamar Jackson if they get a full off season to get prepared?
Brock Purdy. And don't say you're just doing that no, because he knows the system. They don't have to rework anything like they'll have to do for Lamar Jackson. He knows the weapons. He was able to sit behind a couple other guys, learn everything he needed to learn. He knows that system. Right now, if he is healthy, he is the starter, without a doubt.
I'm putting this on the Twitter poll because
Everyone's going to go with the popular pick because they're not going to think about it, and they're going to be worried, if I say Lamar Jackson, people will think I don't know football. You can say that about me if you want. A guy who's already in the system and who did really well in the system, if he stayed healthy, he would have been Rookie of the Year more than likely. I'm going with that guy before I bring in a guy that I'm going to have to change everything around for.
I don't know how to respond to that.
So I don't believe it for a second. I don't think he's going anywhere other than Baltimore if he plays this season.
Listen, I don't know that the 49ers are going to get this trade done. And just like everything else, yeah, it's because of the money. We have seen now the quarterback in Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts. He just got fat stacks, big old fat stacks, not as much guaranteed money as Deshaun Watson.
And he deserved it because he did something that Lamar hasn't really done yet. He proved all the haters wrong.
Sure.
He got them to the Super Bowl. How many playoff games has Lamar won?
Lamar has won 0? I don't know. But again, I don't think you can chalk that up. It's the old philosophy of quarterbacks always get too much of the credit and they take too much of the blame. Inevitably in the National Football League, it's like when we talk about quarterbacks, as wildly as important as we all agree that they are, right? We agree that quarterback's the most important position on a roster. I think you're going to find very few people, if any, who disagree with that. As wildly as important as quarterbacks are, I think we fall into this trap of assuming that a dub is because of them and so is an L, right? If it's an L, it's because, so-and-so's bad. It couldn't possibly be that the Baltimore Ravens had a very mid offense built around Lamar and have done much like the Packers did with Aaron Rodgers, and the reason that A-Rod of the football persuasion wanted out of Green Bay effectively said, well, if you're so great, carry this half-ass roster to the playoffs for us.
By the way, if you're Lamar, of course
Which they both did, by the way.
If you're Lamar, you want to go to San Francisco for sure because that team is stacked offensively and defensively. Don't blame him for wanting to go there if he can.
Lamar and CMC is deadly.
I don't think it's going to happen.
We'll find out. I find San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan to be a very intriguing destination for Lamar, and San Francisco might be one of those teams that's willing to pay him what he wants to be paid. Now, I don't know that he's going to get that $250 million fully guaranteed that he wants to outpace Deshaun, which he deserves to do. But I do think they'd be willing to say, we'll give you Jalen's contract, right? We'll give you $252, let's say $255, to make you the highest paid quarterback, highest paid player of all time. We'll make $180 of it guaranteed, so you get more guaranteed money than Jalen Hurts. And if you'd carry us to a Super Bowl like Jalen Hurts did, you're going to make more money than Jalen Hurts does. Actually, you will already, but now you definitely will. And the next contract is going to be fully guaranteed if you show us that you can deliver us unto the Holy Land. I find San Francisco to be one of just a few teams that might actually be a good fit. And according to Dano, they're interested. We'll keep an eye on that situation as it develops. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, an interesting topic, I think. South Carolina has lost a 4-star backup quarterback to the transfer portal. And a very interesting conversation started to develop around that yesterday. We will hammer out some of the deets, give you some thoughts when we come back. My name is Rob Brown. To my immediate left, the great one, Lonzo, is here. Over to my right, a table full of free stuff that you can come get when doors open here at Twin Peaks in Greenville on Woodruff Road in about 40 minutes. We'd love to see you. Come on by. The Rob Brown Show is live on the Fan Upstate. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about our friends at the Gables on Pelham. If you or someone that you love find yourself in a spot that the retirement community
I'm going to unmute Rob, and I'm going to leave myself muted because apparently I'm still distorting on stream.
Yeah.
My favorite picks from Saturday were all from Matthew's mom.
Matthew's mom has got it going on. Hey, we can't hear the sound coming back to us, by the way, Timmy.
Yeah, he's...
There it is. The Rob Brown Show rolls on.
Rob, did you notice he comes in louder with the harder stuff? T2 does with that music. Did you notice that? It's like blasting our ears out if something. If he likes a beat, everything else he like brings down a little bit.
This techno stuff.
Should he be reprimanded?
Just take those old records off the shelf. Tim sits and listens to them by himself. Today's music ain't got the same soul.
How many bands or artists have we covered today so far? Quite a few.
This isn't a new game for us, buddy.
Yeah, but sitting in here, something about sitting in Twin Peaks live, waiting for people to come in and join us in 33 minutes. You can almost picture, or in your head, all that music playing.
Can I just tell you how mad I am that they set this J.C. Horn jersey right in front of me, and then they're like, "We're going to give it to somebody else."
It's a helmet, not a jersey. I hate to.
You know what I meant?
No,
brain's frazzled.
because you're going to make people think there's a jersey here and there's not. There's a helmet though that you can win.
This J.C. Horn signed Carolina Panther helmet, full helmet, is sitting right here in front of me, and they're like, "Hey, Rob, you know this this thing that would make the background of the stream look awesome? This thing who signed by the son of your favorite football player of all time, Joe Horn. His kid is right here. Yeah, we're going to give it to a listener. That's what we're going to do. So one of you jerks is going to win this thing.
No,
today.
you guys, you're fine people, and we appreciate every single one of you. And you should come into Twin Peaks and drop your name in the hopper for a chance. And we're looking at it. It's a big plastic cube, rather, and it has nothing in it. That thing needs to be filled up with people coming here to Twin Peaks to try to win not only that helmet, but we got a couple minis, including the one that I would love to get, the one signed by Iquanu.
Got Icky's helmet to the left.
And
We got Shaq's helmet to the right. JC's in the middle. Your chance to win them. If you want one of the mini helmets, either Icky or Shaq's, you got to come by and get signed up within an hour after the show is over. Around 1 o'clock, we're going to give those away. And then the JC Horn sign helmet gets given away at the end of Offsides with Mark Ryan. So you got to get registered for that one by around 7 p.m. here at Twin Peaks, Woodruff Road in Greenville. Doors will open up here in just about half an hour from right now. All right, let's get, I want to get this story in real quick. Like yesterday, we found out that a highly touted recruit to the University of South Carolina has decided to leave. Braden Davis is that quarterback. He was a 4-star recruit to South Carolina, 6'5", 195 pounds, 3-star prospect coming out of high school, number 27 quarterback in the class of 2022. He signed with the Gamecocks after receiving 29 offers, including 8 out of the Southeastern Conference, and of course, Clemson as well. He did redshirt last season, his freshman year. He did not see any game action. Look, we knew that the QB room was going to be crowded for the Gamecocks this year. We know that. There were 6 scholarship players there. This makes the second of the 6 to hit the portal. Former backup player Jalen Daniels entered the portal when it first opened back in December. He'll be playing for Garden City Community College next season. The Gamecocks did, of course, add a quarterback this offseason when Lenoris Sellers came in the 2023 class. We saw Lenoris in the spring game, and Lenoris looked pretty good in that spring game. Now, was he going to jump over? Braden Davis on the quarterback depth chart? Maybe. Honestly, probably based on the way that he was playing and the fact that Davis had yet to really crack getting any extended PT even in the spring game. So I'm not really shocked by this, right? Like it's kind of one of those things where, yeah, nobody wants to lose a 4-star recruit. You certainly don't want to be dropping guys that picked you over Clemson because it meant that they had bought in here. But here's the reality of the situation. Shane Beamer is doing an excellent job recruiting here. I don't care who you like and where you come from. Shane's doing a great job, certainly in state, no doubt about it. And Shane has got a stacked quarterback room. If there is a position you could lose talent from, the quarterback room was it. Now, would it be a bummer to see Braden Davis go somewhere else and end up being an absolute stud? Sure. But you got to roll with what you got. We know what Spencer Rattler is this year. We believe we know what Lenore Russ Wilson Sellers is going to look like in the near future. And you've got a ton of experience in Luke Doty sitting there at number 2. Here's all I'm going to say. I got zero understanding for the amount of Luke Doty should transfer stuff we've been getting. This kid has given everything he can give to this program, knowing good and gosh darn well the whole time, he probably ain't getting a shot to be the starter. He is going to leave South Carolina a career backup, yet he's happy to be there. He wants to be a Gamecock. He's put everything into this program. It amazes me that while we are having the conversation about how the transfer portal kills loyalty in a program and, it ends up bringing in kids who are about the money and not the school, and you don't get dedicated lifelong Gamecocks with the portal in play. Here is one, and you got people rushing to say, well, he should leave too. I don't understand that, right? You got Spencer Rattler, a guy that came in because he wanted to play for Shane Beamer because players play for coaches and cultures, not logos anymore. All right? Shane knows that. He's taking advantage of that. You bring in Lenore Sellers, a guy that so far through one spring camp and a spring game looked like he got it. Looked like he might be a guy. And then you got a guy in Luke Doty who's an incredibly experienced veteran leader on this program. And it's like people are trying to push him out. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I also don't understand the criticisms of loyalty. If Luke Doty wants to stay, good for him. Absolutely good for him. And is it he needs to think of himself first and not, maybe he is. Maybe this is just where he wants to be. If you ever been in a place and you're like, yeah, this is where I belong. I need to be here. And you may have had opportunities elsewhere, and you said, nah, I want to stay here. Because I can say I have. There's a reason why I've been in this building for 23 years, over 23 years. And it has nothing to do with opportunity, because I've had some. But I love it here. And Luke Doty, apparently he loves it in South Carolina, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And we know Rattler's gone next year. Luke Doty is still there another year, right? I believe so. So maybe he is waiting to get his 1 year. And we've seen people with 1 year able to move on to the NFL if they get that one solid year under them.
Yeah, he's a redshirt junior, so he could
think
stick
about
around for one more.
So think about it. You're number 2. You're Luke Doty. You've had starting experience, but you're number 2. You know Rattler's gone next year. How much better is this team going to be next year than it is this year? And that's going to be more than likely his team.
Look,
I'm willing to wait a year if I got a shot at what I see is coming.
Sure.
And I'm sure both of us believe that South Carolina's going to improve even further this year on the field and off the field. We've seen with the recruiting what they're bringing in. So what is this team going to look like next year if Doty gets his 1 year and his one shot under everything that he already knows, people he's comfortable with, people he practices with, all that kind of stuff? I would stay for that.
yeah, I mean, it's fair. And again, from the interviews we've heard, the discussions we've heard Luke Doty involved in, I mean, the dude sounds like he just wants to be a Gamecock. Like, even if he doesn't get to play, he just wants to be he wants to be a part of that school. He wants to be an alum. He wants to love them. And I get that. I respect that, right? Like I have said, I got zero issue with guys hitting the portal. yeah, I wanted to play here. It's not working out for whatever reason. I'm not making the NIL money that I thought I was going to make. I'm not getting the PT I thought I was going to get. The coach sold me a false bill of goods in my recruiting process, and I recognize it now. I don't care. I think these kids have the right to have control over their own future, just like anybody else does when it's all said and done. But that doesn't mean I don't have an immense amount of respect for a guy who would look and go, look, if I get to be the guy, I might get to be the guy for one season. And let's even go one step further and say, if I get to be the guy and I'm anything but stellar next year, there's 3 guys under me on the depth chart that are maybe the future, right? I got a feeling Luke Doty would jump Lenore Sellers will jump Luke Doty on the depth chart before next season starts, because I think that kid is going to be something real special when it's all said and done. But look, none of that really matters. What matters is you got a kid who decided it's not for me. Whether he saw the writing on the wall, whether he recognized that, hey, I'm not going to get my crack here. Lenore's pretty much came in as a true freshman and grabbed all the spring game reps that I should have gotten as the number 3. Whatever he saw, the writing on the wall or anything else, is irrelevant. He decided what's best for me in my future is to go somewhere else. Luke Doty decided what's best for me in my future is to stay here. Just like when they're recruits, people, leave them alone. They're human beings. All right?
You know something else that we don't know? How much money is Luke Doty making on NIL? If he's doing pretty good for himself, why does he need to go anywhere else?
May not be worth going anywhere. So, anyway, you end up seeing Braden Davis. He has decided not to pursue football at the University of South Carolina. One of 6 quarterbacks on the spring practice roster, the second quarterback to enter the portal after Jalen Daniels did. He will undoubtedly end up being added somewhere to do something, because the dude was not hurting for offers when his recruiting was open coming into college. He's going to have an opportunity to go somewhere and do something. He is the 4th South Carolina player to enter the transfer portal during the spring window, joining redshirt freshman defensive back Anthony Rose, redshirt freshman offensive lineman Colin Heinrich, and redshirt freshman defensive lineman Demetrius Watson. The Gamecocks have yet to sign any transfers in this spring, but did add 8 players during the winter period back in 2023. Not really all that surprising. You brought in 8 during the winter. You've had 4 transfer out. The numbers are kind of averaging out, and this is, look, South Carolina is not special in this regard. This is something that's happening at every college football program with the portal open. I don't know. I guess my point here, Zoe, is I saw this story break yesterday. I hop on social media. There's a bunch of people pushing a bunch of different narratives about transfers and this is and NILs and that's and roster. Dude, this is just welcome to college football 2023. This is just how it is now. This guy decided this isn't in my best interest to be here. I want to go somewhere else. Good luck in your future endeavors.
And see, that's the problem with this way of thinking. I don't like how things are now, but they are how they are. So you need to adjust how things are done. It's free agency. That's all it is. You decide that you're not going to be able to play here. Someone gives you a better offer, you go somewhere else. That's college football now. It's not going to go back to the way it was. If you don't like it, pick another sport or just go back to find an ESPN Classic or something and relive your glory days over and over again.
If you don't like it, find another sport, Jack. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute, wrap up hour number 1. Got a few more things that we need to get into and discuss. Speaking of, real quick before we go out, Nicholas Harbor, remember the big recruit running back South Carolina was able to sign, landed him over a bunch of other D1 schools, just got his first NIL deal before he's on college, got a deal with Hugo Boss to wear their stuff to his high school senior prom.
Okay, why not?
Well, hell yeah!
Yeah.
Dude, if somebody came to me and said, Rob Brown, we'd like to sponsor your shirt for the remote, bet, son.
Hey, well, during the break, you can tell me who Hugo Boss is.
It's a fashion line, Lonzo.
What's that?
It's a fashion line. Okay. Coming up on the show, David Tepper is 100% in on the pick that Reich and Fitter have decided is the consensus. We'll talk about that. We got a Carolina Panther defensive lineman saying the defense is going to be scary good next year. Do we agree? We'll talk about that. And it's Thursday, and you know what that means. Coming up at 11:20, Fight Club with the great one. We'll talk some wrestling at that point. We're back after this on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate, y'all. Thanks, buddy. I was going to get that at the break. Some tags. Only got
Why did you go
$20 in my pocket.
Why'd you go with twang when you did that? I mean, come on.
You put it in my head, man. I got to do every song with Twain this week. I can't explain it. I just do.
I bet Tim knows every word of that song.
What am I being a hater about, Miss Lisa? I don't feel like I'm being a hater.
That was a long time ago, dude.
Oh, it was. What was I being a hater about a long time ago?
Wait. Mark, I can't. Who is that? Nice to meet you, Mark. You turn it up. Is that slick? I mean, is that Odyssey shirt? Is that slick? I mean, is that? Well, you gotta let me touch it. Oh, look at that.
We're getting ready to play some golf, man. Do you golf? Do you golf? Yeah. Let's get out and play. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I respect that answer. I do.
Now you're trying to figure out if he's being real or not.
Nah.
I think he was.
Tell you, so we were outside and I was talking with Nine out by the door. and we were talking about the beer. I was like, hey, do you know your face is on a beer bottle? He started laughing. He said, I was at a bar like 2 weeks ago, and I ordered one. Because they came out, and they charged me $14 for it. I was like, what are you charging me? My face is on the bottle.
What are you drinking?
Me.
I'm drinking me some me. Maybe someday, Rob, you'll get your...
One day.
I'm just
My name is ready for it. Rob Brown Lager. It's right there. Rob Brown Ale. It's right there.
I'm just trying to keep my face off the back of the milk carton.
Are we coming back, T?
Sounds like it.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rob Brown Show is on your radio, wrapping out our numero dos right here on the Fan Upstate, live from Twin Peaks, Woodruff Road in Greenville.
He just scared the bartender.
I saw that.
He said,
saw that.
He's going to come back here. We're going to see a straight-up bar fight.
I always kind of feel bad about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, once this place starts filling up in about 10 minutes or so, it probably won't be. It still will
Listen,
be.
I've never been in a fight in my life, all right? I've never been punched, but I have to tell you, I have, for as long as I can remember, had this weird fantasy. I want to be in like an old school Western bar fight, like just a whole bar.
Hey, look at how these chairs are made.
Let's not do it today.
No. The design of the chairs in Twin Peaks gives you that kind of feel.
Wait. I have a story I wanted to bring up to you, Zoe.
Uh-oh.
I want to talk Panthers.
Okay. All right.
But you just reminded me of this story.
Speaking of Panthers, you want to win a autographed Panther helmet by J.C. Horn or Ike Ekwonu or Shaq Thompson, you should come down to Twin Peaks.
You really should. And the sooner the better. We'll tell you about that in a minute, but I got to give Lonzo this story. Anthony Edwards is a guard for the Minnesota Timberwolves. After the T-Wolves lost Game 5 to the Nuggets completed the gentleman's sweep 4-1. Anthony Edwards was headed to the locker room. And Anthony Edwards was not super pleased about, well, frankly, anything at all. Somebody done said something to Anthony Edwards, and Anthony Edwards decided the only correct response was to go full Jeff Hardy, pick up a folding chair, and start throwing it at people. Anthony Edwards threw a folding chair at somebody and ended up hitting 2 female employees. He's been charged with assault. Oops.
Wow.
Oops.
So they actually charged a player for doing that?
Correct.
Huh.
Cited for third-degree assault after he allegedly swung a chair that struck 2 female employees following the team's series-ending loss to the Nuggets on Tuesday night. This team put out a statement that said, quote, "We are aware of the alleged incident regarding Anthony Edwards following Game 5 in Denver and are in the process of gathering more information. We have no further comment at this time." Edwards is scheduled for a June 9th court date in Denver, according to the citation. Third-degree assault is a Class 1 misdemeanor in the state of Colorado and is defined as, quote, "knowingly or recklessly causing bodily injury," end quote. If convicted, Edwards faces possible jail time and a fine of up to $1,000.
All right, so that's third degree. What is second and first? I mean, I
don't know how whipping a folding chair like Stone Cold Steve Austin is anything but that.
Well, maybe it's because he threw the chair. So if he was holding the chair when he hit somebody, then maybe it's first degree.
But because he let go
let go of the chair, it becomes third degree. Not funny. No, I'm not looking. I know what it is. I am not looking.
Roy just walked over to the table and handed us some tickets to see Air Supply.
What day is it?
Here, I think these are for you, Miss Lisa. Miss Lisa, would you like to see Air Supply?
She absolutely would.
You want to see Air Supply?
Yeah,
Miss Lisa.
I wouldn't be going with her.
I want you to know, Lonzo has 2 tickets to see Air Supply. Look, I'm going to even put them down on his stream so you see they're in his possession now, Miss Lisa. 2 tickets to see Air Supply, Miss Lisa. They're yours. You're welcome. Enjoy Air Supply.
Messed up.
Enjoy Air Supply. Tomorrow night. Oh, man. How good is that, Lonzo?
Yeah.
Free tickets to see Air Supply.
Yeah, I don't.
How could life be better?
Yeah, life could be better if that hadn't happened. That's how life could be better.
Miss Lisa, I hope that you and Lonzo have a lovely romantic date tomorrow night.
No.
Make sure he takes
No,
you
no.
out.
Stop
Get
it.
you a nice dinner beforehand. Maybe some surf and turf, little lobster and steak.
Yeah, because we can afford that. Sure.
Then you go to the Spartanburg Auditorium and go enjoy. In fact, make Lonzo dance with you to Air Supply.
That
Get
is-
up, a little slow dance to Air Supply.
There have been moments when I've hated you. This is probably the biggest one right now. And I can't put my hate towards Roy because you're the one who said it, and then he went and got him. That's no.
And I want you to know, he handed me 2 stacks. He handed me 1 stack of 4 tickets and 1 of 2. I gave you the 2 so that you and Miss Lisa could have 2 seats together. But if you want the 4 so you can have room around you to dance, I don't mind.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't mind doing that.
No.
Miss Lisa, enjoy date night tomorrow night.
This is what happens in radio when you can get trolled by the promotions manager who has all the tickets.
Miss Lisa, enjoy date night. It's going to be so
I will tell you this:
romantic.
if I have to go to Air Supply, I will make you pay, and you won't know when, but it will happen.
It might be worth it.
You say that now.
I might catch Lonzo's first bird for this, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
might catch the first bird from the great one.
No, my revenge is a little more subtle. You don't see it coming, but you'll know when it hits you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, David Tepper, according to Fitzy, according to Reich, and according to D-Tep himself, David Tepper is on board with the pick that Fitzy and Reich have reached a consensus on. He is in the back pocket. He's good, which I think is pretty par for the course this offseason. I've given David Tepper a lot of hell over the last 3 years for decisions he's made as the owner of the Carolina Panthers. And I'm going to stand by a lot of it because a lot of it has been justified. But I think Tepper has done a very, very good job this offseason of letting football guys be football guys and make football decisions for the football team. I think he's done a good job of being in the back pocket, telling Frank and Scott, you guys are football guys, make the football decisions, and I will support you. I don't know if it's so much that Tep is on board with a pick as, hey, I'm trusting you guys, right? Fitzy, let's be real. If this team's bad for another 3 or 4 years, Scott Fitterer's out of a job. Frank Reich's got his 2 years to show that he has turned it around from the Matt Rule era. There is no more 2 people. There are not 2 people on the planet, including the guy who gets picked, for whom this pick is more important than Frank Reich and Scott Fitterer. So I'm not shocked by Tep being on board with Bryce Young as the selection.
Yeah, I'm still. It's time to go to break. Okay, I'm still upset about it, but it's time to go to break. It's. Come on, let's go to break. I want to hear some music.
Steven said, "Why doesn't Rob have to go to Air Supply?" Because Rob will go to Air
It
Supply.
wouldn't be punishment for him.
Yeah, that just sounds like a lovely concert to me.
There is no one that Rob doesn't like. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, cars are filling the parking lot. Why? Because in 6 minutes, the doors to Twin Peaks open. You guys are welcome to come in, put your name in the hat to register and win a J.C. Horn signed full-size helmet, a Shaq Thompson mini helmet, an Ike Ekwonu mini helmet, and we've got Fan Upstate swag that we're giving away. Doors open in 6 minutes. Come on by Twin Peaks, Woodruff Road. The Rise guys are here. Rob and Lonzo are here. The Fan Upstate's here. We're back after this.
you're enjoying this a little too much. You're enjoying this way too much.
Why wouldn't I? It's hilarious.
Oh, it's funny if it happened to somebody else for sure.
What's up, big dog?
I hate this because I really want to go to the restroom. There's no way I can make it over there and back in time now. So some older people have just entered the establishment. This could be a problem because Rob will scare them half to death. Tim, are you sure you don't want to come over here? I know I'm talking to you on the stream and everyone can hear me trying to get you to come over here. Okay. That way, you know, it's really about me. I just want someone I could hang with because Rob will be, you know, hitting the crowd and me and you can, like, be chill back in the corner. And, yeah, actually I do. That's mean, Roger, but I don't think that's going to be the case. You guys have never been in a place, or more than likely you haven't been in a place where Rob is, to experience the volume level. It's the DBs that come out of that man are amazing. Oh, great. They just turned on music. That's going to go real well for the next hour. Can you hear the music bleeding through? You probably can because of his mic is on. Who am I kidding? Rob's going to drown out the music. Never mind. I am going to suffer because it's country. Yeah, Yeah. Yep. Daggum country. Woo! You might need to call ACC Karen. That's a good idea. Rob. You know, I was thinking about this, but Rob is so loud, he's going to drown out any music that's on. I think we're good. Yeah, well, it's on. It's kind of loud, but...
Lonzo just wants it down because it's country.
Yeah, that too, for sure.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's going to hit the video. I didn't think about that.
Is it loud enough you can make out what it is? The third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown.
It's not time yet, Rob.
It's not time. I heard music.
He played music.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got. That's all good. I got pumped. I was ready to roll, baby.
It's like a false alarm, for sure.
Dang, look at the GQ model that just walked in. I was talking about Devin. Sorry.
I don't know if that's any advantage for you. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to help you. Let us hear the music, Tim. Tim, let us hear the music.
The third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show starts right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, y'all. It is NFL Christmas Eve. No, it's not. It's NFL Christmas Day.
What are
you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
NFL Santa comes tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as the first round of the NFL Draft gets underway this evening. The Carolina Panthers are unofficially on the clock right now. They will be officially on the clock starting here in, 9 hours from right now. We will be on the clock, and the Panthers will select Bryce Young as the first overall pick, the young man out of the University of Alabama. We're going to be talking about that for the next handful of minutes. And we got Fight Club with Lonzo coming up here in about 20 minutes from right now. But look at that. We got a Vikings fan in the house representing us. The doors are open here at Twin Peaks in Greenville, Woodruff Road. Zoe and I carrying you live through the next hour.
Hey, there's people in here now.
There are people in here.
You know what that means? That means the door's open. That means if you're out and about and looking for a place to get some lunch, Twin Peaks is a place to come to because we're here. We're going to be hanging out.
Yes, indeed. We're on the air for the next hour. Then when that hour comes to its inevitably stellar conclusion, Lonzo and I are going to move to that table right over there. We're going to sit down. We're going to get some burgers. We're going to get some wings. We're going to get some fries. I'm going to get a beer.
I may not get burgers. I'm looking at the chicken sandwiches, man. I'm a big chicken sandwich guy.
I'm not mad about it.
And the Nashville hot chicken, I like the idea of something with a little bit of kick. Get me through the rest of the day, you know.
I'm not mad about it at all.
Maybe some loaded fries on the side.
Not mad about it at all. You can come get whatever you want here at Twin Peaks because the doors are open. The kitchen is working. The show is live. We're on the air till noon. Then Zoe and I are going to take off, head over, sit down, grab some food, grab some drinks, relax, talk a little football with you. And oh, by the way, if the company of Robin the Great One wasn't quite enough, if the live Weenus and Pitt show just wasn't enough to get you here, you know what will be? The fact that not only do we have Fan Upstate swag, which we are going to be giving away. How many T-shirts do we have, Lonzo?
A bunch.
A ton.
That's right, a ton
Of T-shirts.
Well, there's been people here who've already gotten some, so we may no longer have a ton.
We have 97% of a ton of T-shirts to give away. You want a Fan Upstate T-shirt?
Roughly 1,700 pounds.
Come on in and grab one. You get yourself a T-shirt. Then, right over here in front of me, we have got 3 football helmets. 2 mini helmets and a full-size helmet. Those helmets are going to be given away, but we're not just handing out regular old helmets. No. We go hard at the Fan Upstate. We have, right here in front of me, a signed mini helmet adorned with a signature of one Shaq Thompson, outside linebacker, Carolina Panthers. Right next to that, we have a helmet signed by first-round draft pick from last year, Ike Ekwonu. Ike's offensive tackle. He signed a mini helmet, and sitting directly in the middle of them is a full-size display helmet signed by a University of South Carolina Gamecock turned Carolina Panther. J.C. Horn's signature adores the helmet that is right here in front of me, and already we have got 3 names turned in to the bucket. We are going to give away the mini helmets just a little while after this show comes to its conclusion. The full-sized helmet will be drawn for at the conclusion of Offsides with Mark Ryan and Diesel. That's going to be around 7 o'clock tonight, right as draft coverage is getting started up. You're going to want to put your name in the bucket by then. You can come get a Fan Upstate t-shirt, and on top of that, we've got some Carolina Panthers swag to give away too. We have Carolina Panthers shirts that only we have. These are shirts that come from the organization, as we are the home for Carolina Panther football here on Classic Rock 101.1 during the season. The Panthers love us. We love them. They sent us a box full of swag to give away. These are organizational t-shirts, shirts you can only get if you know somebody who knows somebody within the Carolina Panther organization. So if you want one of these shirts, you can only get it here, and you can only get them today at Twin Peaks on Woodruff Road, right here in Greenville, on top of all that Lonzo's here. You know? Like, it's just wins. It's just
I think you
around.
should have led with that. But yeah, I mean, come out, hang out. This place is starting to fill up. There's room for you. And we're getting some names for the helmets. You need to come put your name in there, because you can't win if you don't enter.
Can't win.
You hear that all the time, but you know what? That's an absolute truth.
We play to win the game. And if you want to play to win the game, you got to come here. Twin Peaks, Woodruff Road in Greenville. All right, let's bounce through a couple of stories before we get to Fight Club. Coming up in the very next segment, we'll talk a little pro wrestling, boxing, MMA, and more. We mentioned this. Rashad Beard brought it up earlier in the radio broadcast. Scott Fitterer was doing an interview yesterday. It was released by the Carolina Panthers team reporter Kristen Balboni. Kristen got a chance to sit down and talk with Scott Fitterer. And Fitterer said, quote, "We're trying to figure that out right now. We're making calls. We know where the group of players are where we want to be. There's a group where we want to go up. There's a scenario where we want to go up and look at a player if we can get there," end quote. He then went on to say, quote, "If not, we may move back. We may go back 4, 5, 6 spots, pick up an extra pick. As you know, when you make a trade like we made, you end up losing those draft picks, so it'd be nice to recoup some of those if we can," end quote. Here's what I like about this. Now, as Lonzo and I say all the time, it is what? Smokescreen season. Everybody is saying anything they can to throw off their true intentions, especially when you get deeper down into the draft, because there might be a guy that you're really interested in, you're keeping an eye on, and you don't want to let anybody else know that because you don't want somebody to jump up and grab them just before you get the opportunity to do it. But what I do love here is the fact that Fitterer, and Frank Reich has said comments to the to an effect, that the Cats are not going into this with a rigid game plan. They are not going into this thinking, all right, this is the guy, this is the position. Now, that doesn't make me, I'm not a best available guy. Let's be real. If I got 3 really good cornerbacks on the roster and the next best player up is another cornerback, that's not the right play.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for your team because then you got an extra guy you don't know what to do with. It's better to go with team need every single time.
Well, to me, Zoe, there's a place where those two intersect, right? There's a Venn diagram there where one side is best available and one side is need address, and everybody talks about the draft as if you have to live in one of those two circles, and that's not true. There's a gray area in the middle of that Venn diagram where you can go best available player that meets a team need, right? And I think you've got to keep a lookout. What I mean by that is that we know what Carolina's team needs are, right? Wide receiver is a team need. Cornerback is a team need. Edge rusher is a team need. Well, if you get to 39, and let's say that there are 3, 4, 5 edge rushers, cornerbacks, and wide receivers, all of which you're comfortable with drafting, then moving back 5 or 6 or 7 picks and picking up another 6th or 5th rounder to do it is a great play, right? It's a great play. I would rather end up with a fistful of picks later in the round where maybe you find Marcus Colston. Maybe you find Tom Brady. I don't know if you know this. Tom Brady got drafted very late.
Yeah, it's like
in the draft.
6th round possibly.
The point here is I think there's a spot where you can look and you're going, all right, we're number 39. There's 3 edge rushers we like. There's 2 cornerbacks we like. There's 2 wide receivers we like. There are 7 players on the board right now we'd be happy with to pick 79. If there's 7 players on the board you'd be happy with, then dropping back 5 spots guarantees you one is going to be there, and you still address a team need. The point of all of that is I like a team that is not only willing to be fluid when they start getting into the later rounds of the draft, but plans to be fluid when they get into the later rounds of the draft. All I can say is, and I've been saying this since the season ended, the compliment here from me is not, hey, I think the Panthers are going to be good next year, because I do. The compliment from me is, as a Saints fan, I think Carolina's going to be the best team in the division next year. And that's saying that's Rob talking to you as a Saints fan, not a radio guy. As a Saints fan, I think Carolina is the best team in the division next year. And that's before we get to the draft. If they go Chief Nakahama and have a phenomenal draft here, this NFC is suddenly a reality for Carolina. I believe that.
And let's face it, I mean, they absolutely have the potential to do really well in the draft. They've done well in the drafts historically, especially the last 3 or 4 years. I mean,
Even with Matt Rule at the helm, the draft wasn't the problem.
Right. I mean, you think of some of the guys they drafted, from Cam Newton to CMC to Luke Kuechly. I mean, some of the guys that potentially could go into the Hall of Fame eventually. So what are they going to do at number one? Are they going to make the right pick? We're going to see. Could they make the wrong pick and end up not being as good as you think they are? At number one, could picking potentially someone who's, let's say, shorter, and they don't pan out, can this team still win the NFC South?
You know, you ever met anybody who's won the lottery before?
No, actually I haven't.
I have. Wasn't a big lottery, a couple $1 million, but I met somebody who won the lottery.
That's pretty big to me.
Here's the way it looks from where I sit. Any quarterback you take. The only way the Panthers lose the draft is if they don't take a quarterback. We good with that?
Yeah.
Is that a fair statement?
I agree.
If you get the shock of shocks, and the Panthers come up tonight and they go with the first overall selection in the 2023 National Football League draft, the Carolina Panthers select Will Anderson, linebacker, Alabama, then we'll have a problem, right? The only wrong pick is anything but a quarterback. Now, we can rank the quarterbacks that we think are the right quarterback pick, but a quarterback is the right pick here.
Because certain quarterbacks you probably could have had a chance, being further down the line.
Sure.
Instead of trading up to number one.
Sure. Now, again, as I've mentioned a number of times, I don't think when the Panthers pulled the trigger, because remember, they were in a race. Chicago was talking to at least two other teams at the point in time that the Panthers put enough on the table to grab the number one overall pick. So, yeah, it's a nice sentiment to go, you can't go to number one and get a project. Like, sure, but keep in mind, they didn't go to number one to get the best quarterback. They went to number one because that was probably the only pick available. No one else between 9 and 1 has moved yet, right? Now, maybe it's because they haven't had an offer, but we know of at least 5 teams that have been trying to move up, and none in the other 8 have, which means that the number one was the only one that was available. Now, do I think we're going to shock the world and go Anthony Richardson? No, I don't. Or Will Levis. Or C.J. Stroud.
Wait. So the Will Levis thing's a lie then?
Yeah, I think that maybe got a little out of control.
He told people that he was going to go number one, and Carolina already told him, according to Reddit.
God, you Reddit loser, Lonzo. Who reads Reddit and takes it seriously?
Someone who found a Reddit doctor and said they couldn't eat mayonnaise. That's who takes Reddit seriously.
That guy was real, though. That guy was.
Was he?
Yeah,
he was legitimate.
That guy was very.
Yeah, you could tell.
He was.
You saw his doctorate on Reddit.
Yeah, he was very. I trusted him. He had doctor in his name. He can't lie about that on the internet.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point here is, we can argue whether C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young is the right guy. You think it's C.J., I think it's Bryce, right? And here's the thing. We could both be right. They might both be Hall of Famers at the end of the career. We could both be wrong. They might both be out of the league in the next 3 or 4 seasons. There's no way to know. It is a crapshoot. It is a lottery. The best you can do is take a look at all the video, all the tape, judge the competition, figure out the relative stats of both based on who they played, when, where, why, and how. Look at the coaching they came up through. Look at the talent that's around them. Take all of these different variables to build a profile, and you're still in a crapshoot. This is one thing that I'm going to go ahead and tell you is the reality on my end. If we get 5 years from now, and Bryce Young is tearing it up for the Carolina Panthers, and C.J. Stroud's washed out of the league, you will never hear me go, I told you so. I told you so. Why? Because we're all just taking a crapshoot here. Now, you make your best, man. It's like gambling, man. You take all the information available to you, you put together your thought, you get your take, you make your bet, and I will tell you, as the chief gambling expert on this radio station, not a good one.
Well, because you have your own show.
Nationally syndicated, thank you very much.
Sort of thing.
As the chief gambling expert on this radio program, I will tell you, you know what my number one piece of advice to new gamblers is? Wager what you're comfortable with, because you're going to lose, and don't chase your losses because you're going to lose. It is a gamble, and gambles lose. Unless you are really good at them, for most people, gambles lose more than they win, right? So, all you can do is put together the best profile you can put together, give it the best crack, and hope you get the right guy and coach him up the right way. The advantage that you have in Carolina, that you don't have in Houston, that you don't have in Arizona, that you don't have in a handful of other spots, Chicago, is you've got an offensive-minded coach who knows how to work well with a quarterback. And that is why, if I was the GM of Carolina, I'm absolutely telling Frank Reich, you pick the guy that you think is the right guy. Whereas if I'm the GM in Houston, and I've got a defensively-minded coach in DeMeco Ryan who's never played quarterback a day in his life, I got a little more control. I'm a little more hands-on in the pick that we are making at number 2. I'm intrigued, is all I'm saying. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer between Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. I really don't. I think there are advantages to both. I think there are negatives to both. I think we can sit here and argue till we're blue in the face, but Lonzo, let's call it what it is. We're both shooting a half-court shot and hoping we make it.
Absolutely. And all you can do, just like the GMs and everybody else picking tonight, you can look at what they did in college. You can look at your testing. You can look at your interviews that you had with it. But this is hiring someone to do a job where you're I don't know, 75% sure they're going to be able to do the job, because it's hiring someone to do something at a level they've never done it before. And there's pressure that goes with it. There's speed and everything else that goes with it. So it is, without a doubt, a gamble. Some guys are really good at it, and even those guys make mistakes on occasion.
Sure. Look, I'm going to tell you right now. Last weekend, I bet for the Cycle, the nationally syndicated baseball gambling show hosted by Cody Decker and yours truly, Rob Brown, on the BetQL Network. I had the best week gambling that I have had in Major League Baseball probably a year and a half. 71%. Less than 3 out of 4 of my. That means a full 1 out of 4 bets failed, right? And that is the best. That's the best I could do.
I was going to say, that sounds pretty good, though. 71%.
The best I could do. The traditional week for Cody and I sits around 60%, 61%, right? Around 61% of our bets hit. That means that just slightly more than 5 out of 10 bets work. That also means 4 out of 10 don't, right? It is a crapshoot. The best you can do, and this is why, with those bets, I tell people who listen to the show, Cody and I are likely going to hit more bets on baseball than somebody who doesn't watch baseball who tunes in and just kind of plays it by gut, right? Because we are baseball guys, and we're watching the baseball, and we're crunching numbers, and we're analyzing, we're paying attention to all this. If you got one guy inside the top 5 that is the Cody Decker and Rob Brown of NFL quarterbacks, it's Frank Reich. That's the guy. That's the expert of the group. He gives you the 6 out of 10 instead of 4 out of 10 possibility of being correct with this call, which is why, listen, if I get shocked tonight and the Panthers go C.J. Stroud, I'm not going to throw my headset on the ground and be mad about it. I'm going to go, all right, if Frank Reich feels that's the guy, all I can do is trust him. And if he's wrong, we accept 3 more years of mediocrity. It's really that simple. Let's take a break, ladies and gentlemen. The doors are open. The tables are filling. We're live at Twin Peaks on Woodruff Road here in Greenville. We got the J.C. Horn full-size helmet to give away. We got the Shaq Thompson mini helmet, the Ike Ekwonu mini helmet we're giving away. We got Fan Upstate t-shirts. We got Carolina Panther t-shirts we're giving away. And all you got to do is come by Twin Peaks. We are on the air till noon. Then Zoe and I are going to be hanging out for a while after that. Come by, have some food, have some beer, get some stuff, hang out with us. It's Rob Brown. It's the great one, Lonzo. It's the Rob Brown Show live from Twin Peaks, Woodruff Road, Greenville. It is the Fan Upstate. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to tell you about our friends at QC Connect.
Welcome into the Fight Club where we know we can take you. We know. You want some, come get some. Talking to anybody in the building. We're not talking about anyone coming in the.
You need to be real careful what you say right now.
We can take anybody at 25 Garlington Road. There we go. The other radio station. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anybody, because there's some formidable people in here.
I'll say, I'm looking around. There's at least 3 or 4 fellas that would whoop my...
Yeah, well, speak for yourself, but still, I mean, you know. So anyway, as we talked about this yesterday, we could take any other radio show in the building, including the other one that's here, that you can come and visit at Twin Peaks. By the way, Rob just showed me something. So Israel Adesanya was fighting with a torn MCL. That's a tough dude.
Suffered a grade 1 MCL tear the week before his KO of Alex Pereira at UFC 287. A week training and then fighting on a torn MCL. No!
Well, let's face it. They're tougher than probably anybody you know. I mean, ever. Except for maybe Roy Jones Jr. I mean, you know, you got to throw him in there.
Roy's a G.
Yeah, but those kind of guys are wired differently, and they want to just keep doing what they're doing. I mean, I fought through injuries. I tore a hamstring while playing softball for our station, for our building, and you know, I suffered a great deal. There's blood all around the back of my leg. You know what I did, Rob? I played the rest of the game because we would have had to forfeit. There's a different kind of mentality between you and me and Israel. Okay, me and Israel, we're going to do that thing no matter what, even if it hurts, because that's just how we're wired. But that's okay. All right, let us go to a Fight Club. So that's pretty cool that he was able to win a championship with a torn MCL. Let us talk WWE and the brand new heavyweight championship belt. We mentioned it on the show, but we never talked extensively on the air about the new belt. And Triple H comes out and he says basically that they have a part-time champion. And then he says basically no one can beat him, so we're going to just make a new belt. And so what do you think about that? About the things that Triple H said and the belt itself. The belt itself is a copy of the old WCW
it's big
belt.
gold.
Yeah, with the WWE logo in front of it. I hate that, by the way.
I wish they'd have brought the eagle back.
Yeah, because I love that belt. But what do you think about what Triple H said?
I honestly didn't have a problem with it. You're stuck in a spot right now if you are the WWE, because on one hand, I think it's pretty obvious now the goal is to get Roman his 1,000 days, right? Because there's only, 4 guys that have done that? Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, God, who are the other ones?
You sure there's 4?
I think that maybe only 3. There's only 2 or 3, maybe 4 that have been 1,000-day champs, and they've built Roman.
In the modern era, there's been no one.
Right.
Except for...
I think Hogan was the most recent, right?
And that was a long time ago.
So... I think that, let's see, no, Cena did it, apparently. Pedro Morales, John Cena, Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan, Bob Backlund? Bob Backlund!
Backlund was the man a long time ago. Before me, he was, I mean, I just remember him from the brief stint of him coming back with the chicken wing, the cross-faced chicken wing.
Okay, all right. So these are guys that have had it 1,000 days, not necessarily consecutively.
Okay. All right.
Bob Backlund was a champ for a cumulative 2,135. Everybody gets a chicken wing. Everybody getting a chicken wing.
Love the bow tie, though.
So, anyway, I think the goal is to get Roman his 1,000 consecutive days. I think we all know that at this point. I think the goal is to just kind of elevate him. And let's call it what it is. We all the secret is not well kept that when Roman's done, he's going to follow The Rock to Hollywood, right? He's going to go the Cena route of, I'll probably come back every now and then and just serve as a get a guy over opportunity. But I'm going to act. I'm going to be in Hollywood, which fine, man. It's his career. He can do what he wants. I support that. The goal is to get him to 1,000 A, and B, the goal is to finish the story with the bloodline turning on him. I think at this point, so. You've got to do something, and I think it is honestly less about any of the particular wrestlers and more about the fact that WWE has got TV contract negotiations coming up. I think 2 of them over the next couple of years. And if you don't have a champion fighting championship matches on Raw and SmackDown, they're not worth as much, right? They're just not. So,
But see, the other thing with that's why you need 2 championships, because you're on 2 different networks.
Right.
And those networks want to have a champion on their TV programming, so they know that they can build it,
yeah,
so they
and they
can
got
do
to be
everything
equal
that they can
status,
do.
right?
They do.
So I think what ends up happening is whoever beats Roman, whether it's Cody, whether it's Jay, whoever is going to ultimately beat Roman, I think the other side of it is going to be that the current Universal and what's the other one? Just WWE Championship are going to end up getting unified.
Yeah.
And you're going to have Big Gold on one side and the more contemporary belt on the other. Now, the only thing that's kind of wonky about that is the timing, because the draft starts tomorrow. And from what we understand, after the draft, wrestlers are going to be brand exclusive. It's not going to be like it's been the last couple of weeks where you're going to have, the Usos sometimes show up on Raw, sometimes SmackDown. Cody shows up on both. KO and Sami show up. It's going to be, if you're a SmackDown guy, you're a SmackDown guy. If you're a Raw guy, you're a Raw guy. Never the twain shall meet. So I'm interested to see how they decide to handle this belt with the timing of the draft being so far ahead of when Roman might win his belt, which I think has got to be, if I recall correctly, after SummerSlam for him to get the 1,000 days.
I believe so. And, to that end, you mentioned the tag team titles. They're combined right now. You're going to have to split them up somehow.
Yep.
And the best way to split them up is tomorrow night on SmackDown when the rematch from WrestleMania happens. Somehow there's a stipulation where it's only for one set of belts and not for both of them.
Or you end up having one of those 2 teams drafted to the other show, and you basically say, we're splitting the belts. If the Bloodline beats Sami and KO, they get the belts for their show, and KO and Sami keep the belts for the other show. I mean, there's a million ways they could go here, but I am intrigued to see how the heavyweight belts is fine. You just unify them. You make it one belt, and now you got your 2 belts again. The tag team belts, how you split them up is going to be very interesting.
You know what's something you could do? And just think about that as you're talking. Draft the belts. Could you draft the belts?
No, because then you got to strip a champ potentially, right? Yeah, I think you got to strip a champ. And again, even if you say Adam Pearce comes out and goes, with our first selection, we select, because remember, the other thing they've been really pushing on us here is tag teams can be drafted separately,
yes.
Right? They've been, and I think that's probably to give Montez his singles run. Is they're going to split up the Street Profits, which I hate because we want the smoke.
And we know what happens if Angelo Dawkins will.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
He's going to go the way of old Tucky.
Yep.
So I think that what you're going to bump into here is you're going to see either Kevin and Sami drafted to different places, which don't do that, man. Don't do that. In which case, they'll just take the belts from them and basically have a tournament on both shows to see who fulfills them. Or you do it something to the degree of, Kevin and Sami get drafted to Raw, and if the Bloodline beats them, they get to take the belts to SmackDown, and if they don't, then the next tag team up gets in. The next team to beat them gets to take the SmackDown. But I don't know how you do it. I'm just interested to see how they work around having those belts currently unified.
All right, so we talked about the belt itself. Who do you think is going to win it?
The gold belt?
Because if you want to continue the storyline, you've got to have Cody drafted to SmackDown so he can continue fighting with Roman Reigns, unless you want to give him that belt. And if you give him the new belt, is it a consolation prize?
Yes. No, you don't give him that belt. I think first off,
No, he'd have to fight for it, but still.
It doesn't matter. You don't put that belt on him at all, because then what's the storyline still have to be? I'm not sad. That's not the belt I wanted, right? Granted, it is made to look like the old WCW belt. That is what he's supposed to be chasing. That ain't what he wanted. Then he's got to basically go, all right, never mind. I'm happy being the second champ. Because let's be real, for the next year, that's going to feel like the consolation champ. So I think the story still has to be Cody v. Roman to ultimately crown Cody with the big belt, with the real belt, or the current real belt. I gave you my theory, I think, who gets it first the other day. I think it's Drew McIntyre.
Which is everywhere. We haven't seen Drew McIntyre wrestle at all. And where does this rumor come from? He's under contract negotiation, so or supposedly is. So are they saying to him, "Hey, you stay here. We're going to give you this belt"?
Yeah, we're gonna make you, because this belt, we might as well just call it the TV championship, right? That's what this belt is. This belt is the way it was presented is this is a belt you will have to fight weekly to keep. This is not a belt that you can do a Roman, get it, disappear, and show up once every other pay-per-view to defend it. You've got to fight for this weekly. So you basically promised Drew what is almost a weekly main event appearance for 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, whatever he's going to carry it for. And for a guy that not only is he in the contract negotiations, but there's a lot of discussion that he's not super happy with the way things have gone since he lost to Roman at Clash at the Castle. Because think about it. He loses Clash at the Castle, then he gets put in a storyline with what? Tag with Sheamus, fight with Sheamus.
Yep.
We've done that 50 times, right? Like, why would he want to do that again? So you might give that to Drew just to keep him happy, to keep her. Because I'm going to tell you right now, McIntyre leaves WWE. He is the first guy or gal that's left WWE in a while that Rob goes, AEW's got to get that guy. They got to get that guy, and they got to get him now. He's too good not to. It's been a lot of mid-tier talent that's left, and all my AEW friends are like, AEW should get that guy. And I'm like, nah, he didn't really add anything to the roster. There's too many good mid-carders over there already. Drew McIntyre would be a monster pickup if he's unhappy and he walks.
I agree. For sure, he would be, but then you would see, you bring in a guy like Drew, and then you truly see how small most of the wrestlers are on AEW, and which is why, you know, like Wardlow stands out or Luchasaurus stands out.
Give me Drew versus Luchasaurus and tell me that's not an absolute rager.
Oh, I definitely would like to see that. I would. You know what? I'd like to see that more than I'd like to see Drew win this belt, because I don't want to see him do it.
Who do you want to?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't want to say anybody but Drew, but I don't want to see Austin Theory get it yet. I don't.
He's set. He's strapped. He's not.
Yeah.
They fed him Cena. He's fine for a while.
Yeah, so I don't want to see him get it. I don't know. Maybe somebody who comes up from NXT, because there's probably going to be some NXT guys move up.
Yeah, but who do you put over the rest of those guys? That's that Braun.
But you bring Braun in and bring some relatives with them.
But you just rocket him to the top like that?
It's been done before. I mean, look at the women. Look at the Four Horsewomen.
Yeah, but that's like, let's be real, and I don't mean this because you know I will always promote the women's wrestling, but think of who was on the roster when Becky, Charlotte, Bayley came up, right? Like, think of who was on the roster. It was not laden like it is now.
Since we don't know who's getting drafted where, we don't know who's going to be where that belt is. And so that makes it a little bit...
well, I think we do. It's wherever Roman doesn't get drafted.
Yes.
And you know Roman's pick number 1, right?
Right.
Like, that's draft pick number 1.
Well, he should be.
Yeah.
That just makes sense. Or is Cody number 1? I mean, I don't know. Yeah. It's one or the other. I don't know. I mean, who's going to be the inaugural? I mean, because that's going to matter, because that's going to be however long this belt lasts. The first guy who gets it, that's historical to a degree. So give
it to Finn Balor. Give it to Finn. Give him his redemption tour.
I wouldn't mind seeing it on Damian Priest.
He's gotten so much better.
Yes. The other person, maybe Brock Lesnar. Because you can't go wrong with Brock Lesnar. He's won all the other belts. Do you put it on someone who's won every other belt?
No. Make it. This is jet fuel, man. This is a rocket. This is an opportunity to make. This is the opportunity to either make a guy or give a guy a chance to prove that he's worth making. Right? I take that. Roll the dice on it.
All right. Before we move on to AEW, one last question in WWE. You think the LWO is going to be wasted?
Yes, I think it already is. Why have they come out and what have they done other than open their song with a tribute to Eddie? What have they done so far? That if you were going to bring back you know what the problem is? The problem is the same reason the LWO went away in the first place. Vince don't like it. The timing was very poor in that they started the gears to put that in motion. Then Vince comes back. Listen, I have been in my head trying to rectify, like, okay, Triple H is going to make a bunch of bad decisions. Anybody in that job is going to get something wrong here and there. So it's easy to just go, the stuff I like is H, and the stuff I don't is Vince. And that's just how it is now. But Vince has, especially for a guy that is now facing another handful of lawsuits, this time for some pretty gnarly discrimination cases that have been brought forward. For a guy that killed off the LWO the first time it was a thing, and a juggernaut at the time, it does not surprise me that they bring up Eddie Sting, they make a dope new song, they've got some young talent, they got Ray to lead them, and what happens? They're jobbers. They're jobbers.
So far. And again, we don't know what's going to happen with the draft. I like having another faction like that, but you want to see them get some wins.
Got Aaron Rodgers in a Jets jersey just looks so weird.
Well, the haircut looks weird.
He did. He cleaned up.
Yeah. That cleaned up thing.
What happened to the Mushroom Shire?
That cleaned up thing is a point of view. Some people, like back in the colonial times, would have looked at that and went, "What have you done to your hair?" Yeah. So, I mean, all you guys, we've got to have the little boy haircuts. Where does that come from?
Listen.
You're just following popular trends, and if you want to stick with that trend, you go ahead.
Look,
I dare to be different.
social trends are trends for a reason. There is a professional haircut. I don't have one. You don't have one. That's okay. We're still professional.
I have to say, we both look very professional today.
That's true. I'm killing it.
Look at
this swoop. Look at this swoop.
Yeah, even though I have a ponytail, I keep my size tight. When I put it back, I'm acceptable in your circles.
That's fair.
Yeah, and
my circles are very loose.
Yes, loose circles. All right, Roderick Strong is now all elite. Last night he shows up to help save Adam Cole.
Baby!
And there's still someone from Undisputed Era who still works there.
How do you feel?
And he's been hurt.
How do you feel if you wake up this morning and you're Bobby Fish?
Especially all the things he said after he left.
Bobby Fish burned the bridge to AEW, and now the All Elite are back together, except Bobby Fish.
As soon as Kyle O'Reilly comes back, yeah. And do you still put those guys together with the Elite, or do you keep them separate and keep them?
Why not? Yeah, you gotta listen. Finally, there's a genuine threat to the JAS. This is great. Tell me you don't want that war? I want that war.
Well, not just that, but the Blackpool Combat Club also, which they're feuding with right now.
Faction wars!
Yeah, so they're feuding with them right now.
By the way, did you see them smoke the blogger guy last night?
I did not.
So they had...
Oh, yeah. RJ City. Yeah, I did see that.
They had blogger guy that they gave a segment that they would normally give to Renee, and Moxley just racks this guy like he's a veteran wrestler. It was incredible.
I'm not a fan of the Screwdriver.
Would you take that bump? Hell yeah!
Making the money he makes?
Hell yeah!
Sure. We assume he makes a lot of money. He probably does. So the Screwdriver I'm not a fan of because the danger involved with that, I'd rather have the crowbar coming at me than the Screwdriver. Because one little slip, one little thing, and next thing you know, they're actually stabbing somebody. Although Takeshita did get a little color last night. But anyway. All right, that's it. We need to take a break.
We do need to take a break. When we come back here in just a minute, I will tell Lonzo that with 71 votes in, 70% of the people voting have selected Lamar Jackson over Brock Purdy as the quarterback they want if they're the 49ers. I'm just surprised that almost a third of the people said Brock Purdy.
Yeah, they're all lying.
That's the surprise.
They're all lying, the ones who voted for it.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we will tell you all about how you can not only come hang out with the great one, but also I'm here, and get your opportunity to win an Ike Ekwonu signed mini helmet, get your opportunity to win a Shaq Thompson signed mini helmet, and your opportunity to get a full-sized JC Horn-sized helmet. Come pick up your swag and more. Rob Brown, the great Lonzo, T2, the Timinator on the board. The Rob Brown Show rolls on after this. It is the Fan Upstate.
All right, Tim, no Twitter.
Yeah, just skip that, Timmy. I'm gonna see if I can make it. See if I can make it to the bathroom without getting stopped again.
Do what? Yeah, me too. You can't make it 15 minutes.
No, I have tried since the beginning of this hour. Let's go. I'll put it on the way.
Well, go ahead and go. Let's see if you can make it. Yeah, I'm good. Because if you don't make it back, I got to go back on the air. So So there was that. So in a test of bladders, Rob can't make it. So I got 10, 15 minutes. I believe that I can make. If I can't, I have a senior moment. I'm heading home. So I mean, it was one of those things. But I don't think I'm going to have that problem. I am looking over this menu though, and I am having a hard time figuring out what to order. And especially when you haven't eaten somewhere before. I didn't even notice on the back. They actually have other dishes on the back. Thank you, Brandon. They actually have soups and they have a lunchtime combo, soups and salad combo. And they got flatbreads. Didn't know they had flatbreads. We only looked at one side. Including they have Hawaii 5-0 with ham, spiced rum, pineapple. I don't know, is that any good, Tim? Maybe. Bacon bits, green onion, mozzarella, parmesan, marinara, parsley, crushed red pepper, and hot honey drizzle. Well, of course it is. There's enough people here to make you believe that it would be. Because if it's not, the place would be empty. That's how that works, I believe. We'll see what they've got. I'm not on the air. Well, we're on stream, but that's fine. What'd you need?
Oh no, I was just saying. I forgot you guys. You guys have the first pick this year, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, you traded with the Bears.
Yeah, to move up to number 1. Yep.
Well, my team got the number 32 from the Bears.
Which team's your team?
Steelers.
Oh, okay, cool. The Panthers are one of my team. I'm also a Chiefs fan. So.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
It was interesting. My parents are Missouri natives. They grew up during the era of Len Dawson and Hank Stram, so they got to see a Super Bowl championship and everything. So it's nice to see the Chiefs. It's nice to see the Chiefs get back there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'd like to see the Panthers do the same thing. They've been there twice and they haven't been able to win. So.
Yeah, they've come close a couple times. I thought they were going to win Super Bowl 50 because Peyton Manning just had a noodle arm at that time.
Yeah, but that defense was way too good for Denver. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to sit down and let the buzz wear off. I have an empty stomach.
Gotcha. I would have done that, but thank you. Yeah. What time we got? Ladies and gentlemen, what are the odds that Rob makes it back from the bathroom in time? We need to work on your addition. He made it back. What do you know? He was fleet-footing it. He knew.
I'm quick, baby.
He had some moves. He was using his wiggle back and forth in between stuff.
My 40 time was terrible, but that 10-yard dash, look out, boys. I'll get you in the 6-yard dash.
Okay.
1 minute. I've had to go to the bathroom since the top of this hour. I've gotten up 3 times to try, and every time I get stopped.
I've had to go for 2 hours.
You think my guy over there is taking a nap? I think he's asleep. Oh, he was.
Trying to figure out what kind of sport it looks like I should be broadcasting right now. Probably darts. I'm thinking darts or something like that.
Are you any good at darts?
I think it used to be okay. Of course you are. Why are you wanting to start a fan up?
No, I suck at darts.
Oh, okay.
Are you good? I'm garbage at darts. Does it surprise you at all that I suck at darts?
Yeah,
Does it?
It absolutely does. I think Tim was also shocked when you asked us if we were any good at darts, because I was trying to say, looking at myself on video and stream, wondering what kind of sport it looks like I'm
Darts is a good
doing
pick.
play-by-play for, and I think darts.
Darts is a good
I
pick.
think darts or arm wrestling. Okay, kind of a burly guy. He's got the, I think I could do the arm wrestling. But then Rob says he can't play darts.
I suck at darts. Never been good at darts.
Is this from?
Played my whole life, just never
I was
figured
going to
it
say
out.
lack of practice.
No. I play darts at every bar I go to. I just suck at darts.
When
That's all there is to
you
it.
say bad at darts, do you mean like look out, someone's going to get hit kind of bad?
No, I mean I hit the board, just not what I'm aiming for, right? Like I can hit I'm never gonna miss. I'm never gonna be the guy that jams one into the wall. But I just am bad at it. I just am.
Hey, it's almost time for us to eat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live at Twin Peaks, Woodruff Road in Greenville. The weather sucks outside, but it's very comfy, cozy on the inside. We are off the air here in about 3 minutes, and Lonzo and I are going to make our way over to the big table. We're going to grab some, you said loaded fries earlier, and I've kind of been, it's kind of where I'm.
We wouldn't look at the other side. There's
another side.
There's another side with hot dishes, soups, flatbreads, and sweet things.
I like a good flatbread.
Yeah, so do I.
I like a good flatbread.
We've got apple turnovers. We've got cinnamon toast crunch cheesecake.
I know, we talked about that on the show last week.
And Twin Peaks Sunday. So there you go. And hot dishes. They've got beer battered fish and chips.
I love fish and chips. Fish and chips is unappreciated. You know what I made? I made shrimp po' boys last night.
They got chicken and shrimp combo right there.
Perfect.
Right there.
Everybody wins.
New York strip steak. They got that.
Don't hate a steak either. Never can go wrong with steak. We are live at Twin Peaks on Woodruff Road in Greenville. Come on by and see us. We'd love to have you. We have got a JC Horn sign display helmet that's going to be raffled off later today. We've got the Icky helmet, mini helmet. We're going to raffle off later if Lonzo doesn't steal it on his way out the door. And we got the Shaq Thompson mini helmet as well, but that's not it. We have got Fan Upstate shirts over to my right. You want a t-shirt? You've been asking about t-shirts? Come grab a t-shirt. We have got Carolina Panthers shirts we're giving away. They are franchise exclusive. The only place to get this shirt is from the team itself, which means the only place for you to get this shirt is from us today here at Twin Peaks in Greenville. And the Rise Guys P1 Lager is on draft. Come by, get some wings, get a burger, get some fries, get you a cold Rise Guys P1 Lager served at that perfect 29-degree temperature, and hang out with Lonzo in public. He's real. You can come give him a hand hug, ladies and gentlemen. He is a big fan. Come on by and see us. We are live at Twin Peaks, Woodruff Road in Greenville. Phenomenal show today, as always. The NFL draft tonight. Bryce Young?
CJ Stroud, baby. Going all the way.
We'll find out, ladies and gentlemen. Twin Peaks, Woodruff Road in Greenville, as we get you set and ready for the 2023 National Football League draft. It starts up here in about 8 hours. Jim Robe's up next. Mark Ryan and Diesel will be here at Twin Peaks broadcasting live from 3 to 7. They'll run you through their thoughts on the draft as we get all set up tomorrow on the show. We got a new quarterback, man, and we'll break it down. His name's Lonzo. My name's Rob Brown. Thank you very much to T2, the Timinator, putting it all together back in the studio with us. We are going to go get burgers. I'm going to go get a big old P1 Lager. Come on by and see us. We're hanging out for a while here at Twin Peaks on Woodruff Road in Greenville. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. You're fabulous people. We'll see you back here tomorrow to do it all over again, but better on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Later, brother. All right, dudes and dudettes, usually we hang out, but there's wings and beer. So
We're actually going to hang out physically.
Yeah.
So
if any of you watching on the stream want to come by, I'll be here for at least a couple hours. Come on by. We'd love to see you.
Yeah,
Come on, T2.
Tim's coming by, so there you go.
Oh, now you got to come. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. You're all spectacular.